All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to tonight's Tuesday stream. Normally here at TheCardGuyz YouTube channel, Tuesdays are Warrior Tuesdays, but, well, Damien and Thomas top-aided the calling in Columbus with Pleiades Superstar. And, well, since she's the new hotness, we thought we would get them in, talk about the deck, talk about how their weekend went, and, we'll talk about everything Pleiades. So how are you guys doing today?
Doing great.
I'm sure you guys
I'm
are
exhausted.
I mean, I'm exhausted too. That's a far drive.
Yeah. Both me and Josh went to Warner Robins, which is kind of in the middle of nowhere, Georgia. And played in an RTN immediately after driving 9 to 10 hours back from Columbus.
On a Monday. That's why the stream was. That's why the stream got moved from yesterday. It's because they were both at an RTN.
Yep. Okay.
It was worth it though. I got my nationals invite, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good job. I unfortunately lost in the quarterfinals, but
just the format of the stream is
yeah, I've just switched it.
Again.
Yep. It should be okay now. Yeah. For some reason, the resolution is kind of weird, but it looks like it's okay now. All right, so we like for our streams to be quite interactive, guys. So if you guys have any questions during the chat, feel free to ask. We will try to answer all the questions there. So I guess let's just start with how the heck did this deck come about? Because, I mean, Super Slam has been out since August, and it has been like 4 months. We saw a little bit of RKO, small flashes with Lyeth, but overall, Super Slam was a super snooze type of set. We basically just carried forward the we basically just carried forward the high seas meta. How did this deck come about, boys?
All right, so back in my Huntsman era, where I was playing nothing but Arachne Huntsman, I would sometimes match into this like Pleiades fatigue deck. I thought it was like kind of interesting, but I didn't actually think it was good. And then until one time somebody played me one, and it got me kind of close, and I was like, "There's something here. There's got to be something here." So I started looking into it, and originally it had like cries and stuff in it, and then I started to hate that card because it doesn't do anything. At least for me, it doesn't do anything. And it came. The whole deck is based around like the 9 smash up package. So you're like trying to clash very good. So in like rigged clashes with like your ability to like look at the top of your deck and be like, I'm gonna bottom it if it's not like a winnable clashing card.
On top of that, seeing the top of your opponent's deck too
is very good information. Being the only one that gets the bottom of the card is also very unfair. So you combine this card with like cards like Tested Iron Grip and like other like random clash cards too, if you want to like guarantee to get some high value out of cards that are absolutely broken. Tested Iron Grip is absolutely broken when you know the top card of your deck. Man, it's crazy.
Okay, so there was a Pleiades deck that existed before, and there were some things that you liked about that deck, but obviously some things that you wanted to change about the deck. You saw that there were certain cards that were very, very strong, such as Tough Smash Up. This is obviously a 9 of in this deck. But how did you... Was this a deck that tried to attack the meta? Was this a deck that was just undiscovered? Was this... Like, how did you formulate the deck after you had that initial idea?
Well, I was like, if I can make it better than Huntsman, why would I play Huntsman? Right.
Okay.
I was just trying to find a fatigue deck that was. I was trying to see if it could do fatigue better than Huntsman at the time.
Right. So there's
right now the meta is like very like either aggro or combo, right?
Right.
So this deck has counteraction to both aggro and combo. So I would say it is like a really good meta pick. Like Huntsman can be actually tough for this deck. So there are like other fatigue decks and other like go wide chippy decks can be tough for this deck, but that's not what the meta is right now. It's all aggro and combo.
Okay, so there's a saying in Fab that you don't want to be the second best aggro deck. You don't want to be the second best fatigue deck. So when we get to like the extremes of the meta, all the way towards aggression or control, you definitely want to be playing the best version. Do you think this is the best version of the fatigue deck that exists in the game right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it particularly close?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Huntsman can compete with you.
Yes.
Like Graven Call is a really messed up weapon to go again for 2 the whole game. With Piercing 1 is very strong. But the deck just naturally counters Huntsman's best card, which is Hunter or Hunted, with Palm in your hands, Up on a Pedestal, and Remembrance.
Right. Okay. All right. How do you guys want to do this? Do you want to break down the deck first? Do you want to talk about your weekend? Do you want to...
Let's talk about the weekend first.
Okay, sure.
I'm sure that people have seen the deck. It's been posted. And if they haven't, we'll talk about it after this.
Sure.
And then, we'll open up some questions.
So you guys were both around on Friday. I think you both did some side events there. How did those side events go? And did you learn anything? Or, well, this is a very leading question because I know Damien had an experience with with a deck in particular, and it made him change things. So I'll let you tell the story.
Yeah. So I was like crushing in side events all day, and I sit down across from a Marionette, and Marionette for this deck is like a 90-10, and I'm playing the matchup, and Hunger for More got me killed, and I was really mad. I was really mad at Hunger for More. I was like ecstatically mad. It was like the first time I lost to Kasai and added hostile encouragement to the deck. Basically, every time I lose to a deck I shouldn't lose to, I immediately pinpoint the card I hate the most in the deck and replace it.
Okay.
And that happened to be Hunger for More. I just replaced it with Fiddler's Green, and
it was more involved than that.
Yeah, it was more involved
than that. We scoped the room and we just said, "Holy crap! There's a lot of Acilios and Florians in this room."
Yeah,
and so we're like, how do we counter this? We have to go up a bell because we were only playing one bell. We're like, you know what? We got all these tough smash ups. We got one Fate Foreseen. We've got the Palm in your hands to draw cards. We don't need 2 bells. And we're like, no, you need to be able to break a bell when they like kind of combo, and then break a bell again later when they do another combo. So we went up to 2 bells, and then both of us have hated Hungry More for forever. Like we're like, okay, but it keeps to be continued out. And we're like, that's really good. It helps you with the chippy decks. But you know what? It's good into Acilio. Life gain. You know what's good into Mario's and Assassins swinging daggers for 1? Life gain.
Blocking 1 and life gain.
It's pretty good.
No mark for you unless you want to flick and gain 3 life.
So last minute, at like 12, like midnight, I'm like, yeah, Thomas, I'm adding Fiddler's Green to the deck.
I know you wanted to go up to 3 bells, and I'm like, Damien,
I did.
We can't do 3 bells. We already took out Titan's Fist. Every time you run into a KO and swing a Miller's Grindstone, you're going to be afraid of milling a Beast Within off the top of their deck and losing the game on the spot. The 2 Fiddler's Greens you're adding to the deck is good enough to give us a good edge into Acilio.
Okay. So that was your Friday. You made some adjustments to the deck. Well, Saturday, I know both of you went undefeated, so why don't you both break down a little bit about your Saturday 7 games?
You want to start?
Any noteworthy games? I think 14 games is a lot to discuss, but you can talk about any noteworthy games.
We can briefly discuss our matchups.
Yeah.
My day 1, I think for both of us, our day 1s were actually kind of brutal. So they weren't easy at all. Do you want to go first, Damien?
Let's see. What did I? Oh man,
I have all my notes
somewhere.
That's why I like this righteous game.
Okay, how about
this mat is so good. Like this life counter mat that they like sell is so good. Totally suggest this.
Yeah. You go first while I find.
Okay.
For day 1.
All right. First round, Mario. I feel great. This is extremely favored. We've tested a lot into this matchup. It's not close. Completely dominant in the matchup. It's a good way to get started. I actually made a bunch of misplays, but it's so favored that it was just nice to kind of knock all the cobwebs out, especially since I just drove like 9 hours to get up there the day before. So it felt pretty good to get a start off with a win. Then, of course, second round is a gravy bone. And I'm just like, okay, I knew I wasn't going to avoid it. We spec'd out the room, and the room was dominantly gravy, Florian, and Cilia. We knew we were going to run into gravies. And this is a person who'd never played into the matchup before, and probably never played into fatigue with gravy bones, period. I was constantly have to kind of egg them on to keep them moving. One thing that me and Damien did is we played matches and paid really close attention to how long a match took. And I was just telling this person, we're going to go to fatigue. Every time. I'm just like, okay, we're not into this end game loop where you're trying to throw boats at me with your last prismatic ley line. We're just going to, or we're going to go to time and draw. We did end up drawing technically, but he had one card in deck and a bunch of do nothings in hand, and he graciously conceded to me. Be nice to your opponents when playing fatigue deck. Sometimes you will need to rely on your opponent to concede when they don't have to. It's their prerogative. So got to win there. Third round was my only weird experience of the day. I played a Victor, and they just kind of crapped on me the entire time. They're just like, why are you playing Pleiades? Why are you just blocking and swinging Sledge? You could be playing Victor. Victor does all these cool things. I'm going, Sledge. And at one point, I think I intellect penalty myself with a Ripple Wave for 6 or 7 turns in a row. And they're just egging at me for holding this Ripple Away. We both know it's there. At some point, I should just put it face up in my hand and just showed it to them. He actually Test of Iron grips it out of my hand at one point. And I just move on. I just keep swinging Sledge. Because he is... At one point, I was holding a Command and Conquer in my hand. To make him think that it was a Ripple Away, he was pitching his Visit the Goldmane State over and over and over and over again. And eventually, he just kind of chipped too much damage, and I killed him with a Macho Grande when he's trying to set up a kill on me. So, I completely robbed that game. That was my last, quote-unquote, easy game of the day. Every game after this is an absolute gauntlet. Billy Pistol, who got top 8 on Gravy Bones. I faced him. Absolutely scam him with Ripple Away. He tries to set up a Humperdinck turn. I have the Hostile Encroachment in Arsenal, so even if he has Fearless Confrontation to give it -1. I kill Humperdinck, and Humperdinck dies without doing anything effective. And he doesn't have Remembrance ready because he used it earlier in the game to get back 3 bones. So Humperdinck gone. He's only on 1.
All right,
game locked out.
I have a question. I will be the uninformed player asking all the silly goose questions. How do you kill Humperdinck when your weapon only comes in for 6? Do you keep 2 cards to do that?
I arsenaled the Hostile. No, Hostile Encroachment is a 3 for 8 that says on attack target. When you attack a hero, they draw a card.
Okay.
When you crush them, they discard a card.
Right.
But if you attack an ally, it doesn't do anything. It's just a 3 for 8.
Okay.
Great for killing Humperdinck. Because they
also,
have
Josh,
confrontation.
Our weapon only comes in for 4, Josh.
Yeah, our weapon only comes in for 4.
I thought you mentioned Sledge. Oh, you're not playing Sledge against
you played Millers.
Yeah, of course. Okay.
Against Chum, against specifically Chum and Humperdinck, you have to use attack.
Okay.
So the whole game against Gravy Bones is making sure that you have 7s and 8s ready for the Chums and the Humperdinck.
Okay. That's pretty... Okay, cool.
So I predicted the Humperdinck turn about 2 turns previous.
Mm-hmm.
And I predicted that he was going to do it without a boat. Or if he did do a boat, I had enough armor to protect it. And I arsenaled the Hostile Encroachment about 2 or 3 turns previous. He did a whole turn to try to empty my hand. He did empty my hand, except for 1 card. And he played the Humperdinck and swung it. I took the 11, and then I swung the 8 and killed the Humperdinck, and the game was over after that.
Mm-hmm. So he had a plan, but it wasn't enough.
No, it wasn't enough.
Yep.
So Billy Pistol was top 8, right? So I played against a top 8 competitor. Majin Bay. Spoilers, I lose to him in top 8. So again, another top 8 competitor. He's on a Cilio. And we talked about this afterwards. Someone in his group told him not to run Bird Bear. Our game was not close. I was at 22 when he ran out of cards. It was not close. I was just throwing righteous cleansings. Dude,
so bad.
It is so bad. I was just throwing righteous cleansings at him, and he's just like, "This sucks."
Yeah,
Acilio can't block.
Okay, so that was round 5.
Okay, yeah, I put notes on here. I tied every Iron Grip. I never won a single test of Iron Grip against him. It still won at 22. Double Bell was incredible. So that going up on the second bell, like, just straight up won me the game.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. Then I faced against my local and teammate Jeremy Chen. He was also Acilio, and it came down. He is running Burn Bears, so I was at 4 health. He was at 5 health with 2 armor block up. And I looked at him and I'm like, Jeremy, I think we draw. I think it is actually incorrect for either of us to take a game action. I pass to him, he passes back to me, and I'm like, I don't want to draw. And I throw a disable at him, and he dies. Disable is I pitch a blue, yellow, keep 1 blue in hand, keep a Sigil of Solace and Arsenal, and throw 7 at him, and it kills him. Because his hand doesn't block.
Right.
And so he tries to kill me, and I have enough life to survive, and then he dies to the 7.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's 6 rounds. I'm feeling really good. Like, at this point, I know, regardless if I lose this last round, I'm really set up for day 2. And my final opponent is Yuki. And I'm just like, yes! Dash.io. I don't care. I can't lose to this. And then Yuki started proving me wrong. She hit me with a max V. I fully blocked that one out. I think I took maybe 1. And then, like, 2 turns later, she hit me with a max V. No cards in hand. 10 damage, straight up. Next turn, another max V. No cards in hand. 10 damage, straight up. Next turn, a Hanabi Blast. No cards in hand. 5 damage, straight up. And I think at some point, she also weaved in a double boom grenade hit on a yellow zipper hit. I was getting smoked.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I was at...
quick question.
Yeah,
so
ahead.
Hanabi Blaster, most Dio decks are just running Symbiosis Shot, right? Or am I very outdated here?
Like, Hanabi Blaster is a pretty good fatigue option, and if you think about it, I just told you she threw 3 max Vs at me. You don't have an action point after that.
Right.
So Symbiosis Shot's not really capitalizing. You might as well just charge up Hanabi Blaster and get 1 or 2 shots per game. She only got 1, and she only charged it 3 times. She was mainly using Twin Drive to kind of charge up. So what really won me the game is that she spent a whole bunch of turns setting up, and once she finally set up, I actually drew into 2 Test of Iron Grips, and I'd kept it up on the pedestal in my arsenal to make sure that I could set the top of my deck. And I only had 1 valid target because she just kept passing, so I didn't have any cards in my discard. My only valid target was my 1 red boulder drop, which she null time zone for red boulder drop. It's really funny when I only have 1 of them. And I just put it on top of my deck, and I literally said, please no max velocity. Please no max V on the top of your deck.
Mm-hmm.
Double Test of Iron Grip against a 0 to 60 for 8 because of 2 Teclopanders. My hand was Sigil of Solace, Staunch Response. If I miss these Test of Iron Grips, I lose the game on the spot. She didn't have max V. It was just some random other attack. I make her discard her hand, essentially. And I completely crush out her big setup turn. But she kind of drags me down with all these max Vs, this Hanabi Blaster shot, connecting 2 boom grenades, and I'm down to 7. And I block with a Fiddler's Green on one of her breakpoints, and I think to myself, I'm dead. I'm going to die before this Fiddler resolves. She didn't kill me. I gained the 3 life from Fiddler's Green, and she could never get past that 3 life game to finish out the game. So that is undefeated day 1.
Good job. All right, Damien, let's hear about your day 1.
Round 1, I played against Ocilio. It's like 3-4 turns into the game. He pops Lightning Greaves. I haven't drawn Bell yet. I believe. And we're like into the game, and he pops Greaves before I draw Bell. He plays like a miniature combo. I leak like 7 damage. It wasn't like a crazy Lightning Greaves turn, but like it was like maybe they were rushed because they know I play Bell. So, get it while you can get it. But about like a little farther after Lightning Greaves turn, I block a little bit, and they do a little bit of setup and pass. And my hand, I go Bell, Palm, and then I draw Bell off the top of my deck, and I go second Bell, and I'm just like pass. And that's basically how the game ended. Just like Bell is just like so backbreaking.
It's not the first. It's definitely the 2.
Mm-hmm. The second one was like the nail in the coffin. Good plays. They didn't play Burn Baron to me. So I think I won that game at like 14 or something. With might have had a bell left in play. Round 2, I played against my friend on Huntsman. I played him the day prior. I was trying to test Millers in a Huntsman, and it wasn't doing that great. So I flipped over Sledge, and he flipped over Scale Peeler, and I looked at it and I went, I didn't flip Rampart. He did, however, flick his dagger on the turn forward, concealed Blade of Spider's Bite, and then I started sweating. And then we played out the game from there. I dodged some Hunter 100 with some palms. I think I might have dodged another one with like a Remembrance.
So
and then
briefly explain the interaction there, because really
he plays Hunter 100, looks at the top card of my deck, and he goes, "I'm going to name bump on the palm." And I said, "Hold on, you're not going to name. I'm going to play palm. I'm going to draw a card." And then he's got a name in the blind, and it just doesn't work. I don't remember exactly how I dodged the Hunter 100 exactly. It's all a blur because I played him twice I played him on Friday and then in the calling. So the two games are actually blending together for me right now. But I think one of the times I pedestaled a hostile encroachment to the top of my deck, just so he only got 1 silver. Just, these 1-ups. He's really good at Huntsman, so he had me sweating the whole game. I eventually closed it out with Sledge because Sledge comes in for 6. Round 3, I played against KO. They presented 60 cards to me, and then they discarded a Blood Rush to a Wild Ride and banished another one off of a Beast Within. So it was very unfortunate. I think he was pretty good at KO. It was just very unfortunate.
Clearly not.
No. You chalk that up to variance. That's just very unfortunate.
That's when you have to ask him, was that in your hand when you played this?
No.
Of course not. He just randomly drew it. But yeah.
Round 4, I sit across from Aggro Blaze on Victor. And I go, "We're going to have a fun time." And he goes, "Yep, we are." So we're starting to play the game, and I throw an attack at him, and he blocks with 2 Tests of Iron Grips. And in the blind, the top card of my deck is Righteous Cleansing. and he goes, "Oh, that's not good." It's turn 6 or 7, and he has 0 gold apart from his shield. And I'm like, this is going pretty good for me. And I'm just every time he draws a Goldmane Estate first cycle, I just rip a Ripple off the top of my deck, just blind. I'm just ripple it. And it was just so brutal. I do remember in the middle of the game, he throws a Peck Perfect at me. And I look at him and I'm like, "Oh, you like to gamble, huh?" And then he starts to take a drink of his water, and I motion to jam all of my armor and my entire hand on the combat chain, and he was spat out all of his water. Dude, we just started laughing. And I was like, okay, whatever. I just put 4 cards from my hand in front of it. And in the blind, the top card of my deck was Righteous Cleansing, and the top card of his deck was Visit the top card of his deck was Visit the Goldmane Estate.
Oh no,
dude! So he has to break a gold to bottom his Goldmane Estate, and then lose 4 cards off the top of his deck, which one of them was Golden Sun.
Ouch!
And I was like, oh man. And then from there, all my Ripple Aways were pretty surgical after Remembrance. We're in second cycle, right? So I can ripple away the Goldmanes. One of them was really messed up because we got to Goldmane 7 through 9, and that means that his deck is pretty slim. It goes Goldmane and I ripple it, and the other 2 are in his hand. So he could cast them, but he's just under ripple for all 3 of them. So it's kind of brutal.
Yep, because it says this turn.
We ended up winning that game. He played really well. Yeah. So round 5.
Before you move on, really quick, for the Victor players out there, Would you suggest taking Peck Perfect out of your deck when you play against
I would
Pleiades?
never cast it against me. If I have a pedestal, I will gem every card in my hand and all of my armor on it.
Even your tunic?
Okay, move on.
No, not tunic. I would never cast Peck Perfect into Pleiades. It's so scary.
Yep. Okay.
All right. Round 5. I sit across from my nemesis, Gravy Bones. Oh man. This guy was on like Scuba, Leyline, Remembrance, Whaler. He remembranced back 2 conks. I was like, I actually forced his hand with a Remembrance. I CNC'd him, and he had allies in a D-React, and his Remembrance was in his arsenal. So he was forced to play out his Remembrance and get back 2 boats. He couldn't use it on like a Whaler or something. That was really nice. Eventually, I had to like fight through 6 ley lines and 5 conks and a Whaler, and I got there. It was hard.
Impressive.
Ripple Away
Okay.
is a good card.
I might be an idiot, but why would you want a Remembrance Whaler? Don't you want him in the graveyard? And if he's flipped over, you can't remember it's flipped over cards, right?
No. So here's how the interaction works, Josh. They kill the Whaler, and then in response to the Watery Grave trigger, they can Remembrance him back into the deck after he's been killed.
Cool. Things I did not know.
Not cool.
Yeah. So
they
they usually like Remembrance back Whaler and 2 boats, right? That's
I
the
see.
Remembrance targets.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
yeah. So after fighting through that, killing the Whaler, he ran out of deck, and that was the end of the game. Ripple Away is such a good card. I don't win that game without Ripple Away. There was one turn I rippled him, and he had like 4 token makers in his hand, and he's just like, that the whole turn? And I'm like, yes, this card's crazy.
What in particular? What type of tokens were you denying with Ripple Away? Gold
and
rum.
rum.
And rum. Okay, so things like tip the barkeep don't make the rum. Okay, cool.
So you only die, like, you really only die to Gravy because of these, like, crazy turns he could set up from cracking gold.
Okay.
So keep him off gold, and there's a lot of turns that he can't do because his deck just doesn't work correctly without having that gold break.
Okay.
Round 6. I sit across from Marionette. Feeling pretty good about this. Pretty favorite of the matchup. And it went just as you'd expect it to go. He flicked his only Clave somewhere in the middle of the game. And he didn't have a Clave for like 5 turns or something. Marionettes without Claves are very predictable. And there was also one turn, he doesn't have Clave yet. And I draw up, call for backup, Iron Grip, Staunch Response. And he goes, Kith of Death. And I go, block 10. Put 2 blue 8s on the top, double Iron Grip. And he had 2 Tarantula Toxins. And I was like, oh my gosh. That's the end of the game. Like you could just see his face when I double Iron gripped him. It was like this guy, dude, I wanted to puke and I did it. And then Miller's just ate his entire deck.
When this card first came out, which was actually the TheCardGuyz spoiler, we weren't sure just how insane this card was. Like, Victor thought it was pretty decent, but then it reduces the consistency of Trounce and Test of Strength and stuff like that. So, but it seems like it's found a nice home in Pleiades, especially with the top deck manipulation, plus the fact that you can order the triggers with the tough smash up. This card really is like, how do you beat a fatigue deck? You have to have something really, really ridiculous at the end of the game, or you have to have several first turns.
This is Command and Conquer on your opponent's turn. This is Command and Conquer on your opponent's turn. It's crazy.
No, it's pummel.
Being able to interact with your opponent's plan is very, very strong. That's why cards like Scowling Flesh Bag, the Runeblade Helmet, the name escapes me, but there's several things that allow you to interact with your opponent, like leave them hanging, also intimidating on their opponent's turn.
Is it ever correct to block Millers? It really depends. That's not a question that you can know the answer to until it hits. Um,
That's fair. Okay.
Okay, so round 7. It's the end of the day. I'm pretty tired, and I'm like, please give me something easy. Oh, gym lottery. And I sit across from Dreadscythe Florian with Remembrance.
Okay.
And I'm like,
Hold on, give
oh
context.
gosh.
By the way, we've basically considered this particular matchup scoop and leave.
Yeah, at the
All the way up
time,
until now.
I had played this matchup maybe 2 times, tops, and it's been all right. Like, but how good can you truly beat this matchup? I had theories. I crafted theories on how to beat the deck. I just never like practiced them. So I started putting it into practice. The game was going fine, but the opponent didn't know how to play the matchup. Well, I mean, nobody really knew how to play the matchup, right? Nobody knew about this deck that was like playing against us. So after a while, I was like rippling germinates and whatnot, and eventually he just like couldn't kill me. And Miller's doing like the most insane of work. So that was my round 7. There's not too much to talk about in the Florian game other than like you're swinging Millers and trying to set up like a righteous cleansing like loop at the end of the game, and you're just trying to stay at high life total.
Okay.
So that was my day 1.
Pretty good. All right, so you both came back on day 2 for 5 more rounds of Swiss. How did those 5 rounds go? Thomas,
So,
I guess you can
just
go
a quick
first.
Yeah. Just a quick recap. The hate like elevated, by the way. Because if you look at the standings, it's like Damien's in first, I'm in second, and the world champion Michael Yasker is in third.
Dude, we
So-
we were playing a revered hero, but we were getting a lot of booze.
so many He was so mad. And I never realized I was the kind of person that thrives on the lighthearted hate. I never want someone to like really dislike me, but like when someone kind of dislikes the thing I'm doing when it's not wrong, dude, I was thriving on that. It actually like it invigorated me. So I was like super excited for day 2. I went and had a drink and we ate some pizza and I went to bed early. So I was ready for day 2. So coming to day 2, the couple times I've made day 2 in like major events like Nats and Pro Tour and Callings, I've always choked. I don't know what's up with me, but I always come in and I made sure I rested like an extra 2 hours. But literally round 1 is Mr. Brody Spurlock. Me and Damien talked about our potential matchups going into day 2. We knew one of us was getting Michael on Florian, no matter what, because he was the only other XO. And so it was either we would be paired against each other or one of us would get Michael. So Damien ended up paired against Michael. He'll talk about it. I ended up paired against Brody Spurlock on Cilio. And it is a close game. Things go pretty well for both of us. Brody's notorious for taking a long time. I think it was at like the 35 to 36 minute mark. I literally say to Brody, I know we're going to draw at the current pace of play. This is at 35 minutes left on the clock. He goes, I agree. I'll speed up. I'm like, all right, thanks, man. And he does speed up. So great on him. We do come to a conclusion. And he does a bunch of mini combos. He avoids the bells pretty well. He does a great job playing into the game. I do a great job playing the game. It is a really competitive game. It's coming down to the wire. And he's doing his last set of combos. And he's just throwing normal attacks. I'm like, I'm pretty sure he doesn't have any spells left. We're just going to go. And I'm at 2. He lays down his last Gone in a flash. I have 1 card in. And I look at my card. And I'm not even upset at this point. It's my Heart of Findle. It's literally the only no block in my entire deck. And I go to put it on the chain because I'm at 2. So if I block 3, I go to 1 and he loses. I go to put it on the chain like I'm blocking. And I flip it to him to troll him. And you just see his whole demeanor change. It was great. It was worth losing to just to get one up on him. But great game against Brody. I really had a lot of fun playing that game. Because Damien, I don't want to spoil it too much, but I'm playing Michael. As we are both X1 at the moment. And I tried to aggro him down and be very aggressive, and it was working pretty okay. I thought I had the advantage there because I even hit a remembrance with my hammer. So if he tried to like go into this like I'm going to block and try to fatigue you out and play a bunch of germinates, it wasn't going to necessarily work. But I could never quite get a good confirmed hit on Righteous Cleansing to try to mill a germinate out of his deck. He managed to play all 3 and kill me. So I'm now X2 and I'm like, oh god, I'm choking. Oh god, I'm choking. So round 3, I'm now concerned. I think I'm doing the thing where I go undefeated and I just go X3 immediately and just drop out. I didn't even get a chance to look at my phone before I knew I was playing it because my opponent was Elaine Sao. Sorry if I mispronounced her last name.
The prison player. That was my round 1
Yes.
opponent.
I played her at Battle Hard in Atlanta. If you've ever played against Elaine, she is very good. But she is also very tough on herself. And it could come across as her being mean to you. But every time I've gotten her in a non-stressful situation, wonderful person. Love hanging out with her and playing games against her because she's very skilled. But I heard her go, she just dropped an F-bomb immediately. When she saw the pairing, because she knew my name from Battle Hard in Atlanta. And so before I knew I was playing her, before I even loaded my phone, I'm like, I didn't even know she was winning. And I'm just like, oh, okay, Gem Gods, you have praised me. I have an easy matchup. I'm at least going to catch. Golly, she gives me a run for my money. I mean, she sets up these angels. She's playing she's playing Halo of Lumina Light, and she's got Dissolve Realities. By the way, the reason why Prism is so easy because you can just put Midas and Touch in Arsenal and you can completely disrespect. She doesn't have Arsenal hate. She's running Dissolve Reality, which bottoms your Arsenal card. So I'm like sweating. I'm like, if she bottoms my Midas Touch, I had to pitch another one, and I'm just having a rough time. She does this Lumina Light combo where she gets to put in her Arclight Sentinel free. She flips the Blona. She flips Secum. I'm at 44, I think, at the time. No, it was worse than that. I'm at 49 when she flips up her stuff. By the time I managed to get her board under control, I am at 8.
Prison's pretty crazy.
I took 41 damage to get her board under control. 41.
It's a lot of damage.
Almost every other hero in the game is dead. And, man, I lose a Clash of Bravado to get rid of a Passing Mirage. I lose a Test of Iron Grip to drop a Herald out of her hand. It's just, like, bad beats all the way down. I managed to correctly navigate it. I did have one saving grace that I hit her with a hammer and hit a Merciful Retribution after she used a Merciful Retribution to get Soul to set up this really big board. So she couldn't do the Merciful Retribution Arcane Shotgun, if you're familiar with that in-game. And on top of this, we were the deck check for the round. So our match went so long that they started the next round without us.
What?
So
how does that work?
Yes, this is very rare.
Uh-huh.
But they started the next round without us. And I think it's because that our matchups were deterministic.
Okay.
So it didn't matter. The 2 opponents were going to not change no matter which. We would just switch which opponents we were against based off of our win-loss.
Okay.
And so that was a rough time for me. Like, I need my bathroom breaks. I need my time to unwind at least a few seconds before going into matchup, just to get up and walk around. And I had none of that. And like, luckily the judges were really nice and they like made sure that nothing went wrong. And I got to take my short little break. And that was good. Awesome judging this event, by the way. Awesome judging. And so I went to play Noah Bagelman on Florian, Dreadscythe. I'm like, okay, so Gem Gods are no longer smiling on me. Noah Bagelman is very freaking good at Flesh and Blood. And I think this is the end of my run again, but at least I cashed, so no stress. I'm just going to have fun and play. And I beat the brakes off. Holy crap. It's not close. At one point, I swing a Miller's Grindstone at me, and he goes, this is either okay or really, really bad. And he tanks on it for like almost a minute, and then he says no blocks, and I hit a Germinate. And he goes, oh, it was really bad. And I'm just throwing righteous cleansings at him literally every turn, and he's just looking at me throwing righteous cleansings and goes, he doesn't say I lose, he just goes, I don't know how to win.
I don't know how to win.
He doesn't say I've lost, he just says I have no idea how to win. And
that's
I
what
get there.
fatigue decks
So now
can do
I'm
to you.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm feeling fantastic because not only am I cashed, I'm like good cash at this point, right? Good cash and live for top 8 going into the last round of the day. And then I will let Damien talk about his day too.
Okay. Round
All
8,
right,
Damien.
round 1
How'd it
is
go?
most may
Round
know.
8. But yes.
Round 8. Well, round 1 of day 2. Round 8. You guys might have seen it. I was on stream against Jasker. Oh my gosh. I sit down and I'm like, all right. My theory in the last game worked. Let's try it again. He rose a Ravenous Rabble at me on turn 1. I didn't know what kind of list he was on. I was too lazy to look it up. But apparently it was public. So I set it across from me, plays a Rabble, and I immediately know the A to use on. Because there's only like so many like Florian decks have like they have like deck ways that they build their deck. I'm like, okay, he probably plays Mountain. We play the game, very tight game. I try not to leak a lot of damage, and I'm like actively trying to pitch deck the entire game while not dying. We finally make it to his like Germinate stack where he's going to start casting Germinates, and at the exact same time we hit my Righteous Cleansing stack where I just start throwing Righteouses the whole game. There's like, I'm like righteous, CNC, righteous, remembrance, grab back, righteous. Like, I'm just like, I cannot give this guy room to cast Germinate. And so he figures out that he's not going to have room to cast like as many Germinates as he wants. So he starts grabbing back Arcane Seed, which I think is fine. And then it finally gets down to like a really scrappy like end game where I'm just like rippling stuff. I'm like rippling Arcane Seeds because I know that he doesn't have enough room to play like too many full Germinates. And eventually I'll put him in a situation where he just has to throw a felling at me with his stack. And I live on 3. And that was the end of the game. If you want to watch the full game, you can go watch it on the calling stream. It was a really nice game. I think it was a great game. Very fun. The next round, I play against Majin. It was a really like interesting game. You know, he's pitch stacking the whole game. He brought in his Burn Bears this time. Yep, I could tell. He hit me with them.
Sorry.
And
I even told him to play him. My bad.
Dude, and it was like, okay, he starts playing into me, and you know, I'm leaking damage here and there. I play some bells. I think I belled a turn I shouldn't have, and he got the pitch stack with double brilliance, and I didn't draw any disruption. So that was unfortunate. And then he just like glyph overlaid me for like 9 million. I definitely could have like played it better, but I did get glyph overlaid for like 9 billion. So I lost that round. I was feeling like a little down. I could have played that a little better, but you know, I lost. All right, next round. I play against Billy. On Gravy Bones.
Opposite experience.
I swing hammer on turn 1. He crowns, flips an Oyston, and I flip not an attack. Hammer gets a counter. Already bad. He plays a scuba. I'm like, can't kill it with my hammer anymore.
Oh no.
Amazing. And then he casts 2 Sawbones, and I go, yes. And then he throws a Conqueror at me, and I look at my hand on turn 5 after I forgot my Tunic counter and I'm slightly tilted. And I go, I look to his graveyard, I look to mine, I quickly realize I'm not winning this game, and I saved myself 30 minutes and concede on like turn 5. And I just walk around and like chill out. Whatever. That was my loss for that round. I was like, should have never swung that hammer. I actually think the game's really close if I never swing that hammer.
Yep.
It is what it is, though. The next round. There are 2 rounds left. I sit down. I'm like, please give me pretty easy opponent, Jim pairings. I look down at my phone. It says Brody Spurlock. And I go, oh, shit. And so I'm playing the game with Brody, and I'm trying not to rush him. I don't really like rushing people. Yeah, I know. I play fatigue, and I can't rush people. So I let him take the amount of time he needs, and we play out the game. I belled him on a turn that was very pivotal. I don't think it crossed his mind that I might have belled him there. He plays a blast, bounces a CLV, he casts his turn, and then immediately recast it, and I immediately snapped a bell. He discards Comet Storm and Etchings of Arcana. And I go, whoa. That bell's crazy. And I go, that was nuts. The game dwindles from there as I drop to 8. I think at some point he might have taken a small setup turn, and I draw some sigils and a palm. And I'm like, base. So I do some setup. There was one point in the game, I remember this turn, he plays a Brilliance and then attacks with a Blast. I block with a Clash Bravado to force him to bounce his Brilliance immediately. And then I see the top card of my deck, and it's a miss, right? And the top card of his deck is a Blast to Oblivion. He throws a Current Funnel, and I sink below the Current Funnel. I sink below a card in my hand. I draw a card. He throws, I think, a Flittering, and I Test of Iron Grip it. The only card in his hand is Sigil of Brilliance. I just think he's going to play it in response. He sits there for a few seconds, and then lets the Test of Iron Grip resolve. And I flip a 7, and he discards the Brilliance. I do think that he needed that Brilliance in his arsenal for a Blast to Oblivion combo he might have tried pitch decking. So he just had to bank on me not having the tag on the top of my deck. It was a very close game, but I ended up clutching it out. Man, he plays Acilio pretty good.
Yeah, he does. And
then my last round, I sit across from some guy named Thomas on Pleiades. I'm like, I think I know this matchup. I lose the die roll again. I've never won the die roll against this guy in the mirror. I'm always going second.
Apparently, it doesn't matter. I don't think it actually does.
And so, he swings a sledge on turn 0. I block 3 to go to lower life for all my lower life effects, and we play out the game. I'm sure between the 2 of us, we cast 7 copies of Pulverize and 8 Righteous Cleansings or something. Dude, it's just a battle of heavy hitters.
Let's talk about the story where we decide to play the same sledge. Okay, hold on. Now let's talk about the first story where you tried to steal my deck.
We started shuffling up and presenting, and we have the exact same 80. So I shuffle his deck, and I'm not paying attention, and I put his deck in my area, and I don't draw yet. And he's like, "That's my deck, Damien." And I go, "Oh, here you go."
It's like, well, it doesn't matter. Come on, who cares? We can get deck checked, and it was totally fine.
I regret saying anything. I should have just let him draw and started drawing up, and he's like, "These cards aren't shiny because my deck is not blinged out."
Yeah. You should have did that. That would have been funny.
Okay, so we shared the same sledge, by the way. He has the cold foil sledge. We just sit it in the middle of the table, and we start just turning it to indicate who's swinging it. Mm-hmm. And at one point, there's someone standing behind me. I'm kind of in it, but Damien starts to touch my hero, and he pulls out my sledge, and I'm like, okay, I get the signal that there's probably a judge behind us watching us. It is literally the head judge. And he's like, "Are you guys using the same sledge with arms akimbo?" Kind of looking at us judgmentally. And we're like, "Yeah, sorry, we were just goofing off. We'll play correct." And he's like, "No. can I take a video?
I mean,
Dude.
Guardian players have to figure out a way to have a little bit of fun, right?
No, he basically was just like, you can continue doing it. And I was like, okay, thank you.
Dude, we don't even take the sledge down the middle of the table when we throw attacks. We literally just put the attack on top of the sledge.
I can't believe I blocked 11 on a sledge for 6 and it was correct. That was really funny.
And you get ahead because I think you play 2 more pulverizes than I do, and we found out the matchup's very heavily slanted on playing pulverizes and righteous cleansings, right? Because you have to spend extra cards into them. I mean, and you don't want to give up your armor because you can get scammed if you give up too much armor.
You're trying to be lower life anyway, so taking damage into a pulverize is really exactly what your game plan wants to do.
Except that you have to take a turn off, right? Like you're.
Well, it depends on if you have Tunic and 3 blues. But yeah, I'm just like, I cast more pulverize than him because I pedestaled it more. I did love at a certain point in the game, he was like, block with Test of Iron Grip.
Yeah, you swing sledge and go block with Test of Iron Grip, hold priority, play up on a pedestal, put pulverize on top, and I go clash, and you go, no wait.
Up on a pedestal.
Pulverize on top. And the whole room explodes because there's a bunch of people watching us, and it's just so comical. Like, everyone's just like, oh, they both clash for 14. Let's go.
Dude, this deck the mirror is actually incredibly fun.
It's so exciting. It's so funny.
It's actually super fun. It's one of the most fun mirrors I've ever played. And it's incredibly skill based too. I'm pretty sure. Like it's like
we both went for 2 completely different win conditions.
Yeah.
Like you went for the fatigue win condition where you run me out of cards. I went for the Macho Grande, and we get down to the bottom, and you're drawing up. I have it. I have the Tunic counter. I have the 2 blues, the Macho Grande, and Arsenal. You are at 3. You are dead. You have no armor. You're dead, and dead. And I go, you're drawing up your hand. You card 1, card 2, card 3, or in card 4, and you on card 4 you go, ooh.
Because
I throw the Macho Grande and you staunch response it. And I'm just like, God damn it. I'm literally out of cards. I have no more cards in my deck at that point. Like,
staunch response, pretty good card. I presume in this matchup, this is one of the few matchups you're actually like kicking it. Trying to get the.
There's a lot of matchups where you kick staunch response down to 2nd or 3rd cycle.
No, he means like pay into it.
Yeah,
it means like kicker, like a magic.
Oh yeah. You could pay 10 into it. I think you didn't even bother. Like it didn't kill him.
I just blocked it and swung sledge.
So at this point, we learned kind of with the math. People are messaging us mid-match, but we can't check phones while we're in the match. That like if Damien would just scooped, we're both top 8 guaranteed, right?
Yeah, but I didn't know
that. We even talked about it. I even said, Damien, the worst possible feeling is if you scoop and you hit 9th. I would rather lose and get 9th than you scoop and get 9th. So we just played it out. It was a great game. Had a great time. No regrets. So I'm fine. And I've had the greatest calling run. I know that I have a chance of bubbling it around 9th, 10th. And there is another match going up on stream where the player totally punted, lost their game. The person above me won their game. And if there were either one of those flip-flopped, I probably get 9th. And we're going down the line and calling everybody, and I am 8th. 2 Pleiades, top 8 calling. Let's go.
Good job.
And then we both lose first round.
Oh, dude, my game against Jasker was like almost exactly like the stream game, except he exactly put me on the last rune chant with the last card in his deck. So it was very close.
My game against Majin Bay, I was on the feature match. Man, I am so afraid to go even look at that match because I'm sure I look like a buffoon. I even missed one Tunic counter. It didn't end up mattering. I did miss it though. I'm sure I looked like a total buffoon on some of my play lines, but I was playing to try to stop combo, and instead he was doing this like thing where he just kept trying to fork. And God, he was doing so good at it. I was getting kind of mad, but like you can't be mad in top 8. I literally think like if you're mad in top 8, there's something wrong. You're at such a high achievement level. You should just be happy. And so I had a great game with Majin Bay. I sat down and said, "Did you learn something from the first 2 games?" He said, "A little bit," and boy did he. because some of those forks he did to me were nasty. So nasty.
Can you explain what you mean by forks?
Okay, so he presented these like hand sequences that looked like he was going to do one more attack, except he just pulled all his punches, did arcane, and I'm sitting there with reds in my hand. I'm like, I didn't block with blues, by the way. I just kept drawing awkward hands where I should have probably committed. I would have been better off like committing more cards defensively in different ways. There was one time I was trying to hold a Test of Iron Grip in my hand to try to like take him off of a card. He just kept leaving it in my hand. I'm like, oh god, I should have just blocked with it for 4 at some point. And yeah, I definitely made mistakes. I probably could have won that game if I hadn't been playing. I call it cute. If I would have just been playing kind of like surface level, and going for the highest value hand to hand, I might have won that game. He was almost out of cards, and he tries to go for his big combo, and I actually happen to have an Oasis fight in my hand and stop this huge sigil overlay combo that should have killed me by like 3 or 4, and I survive it because of Oasis Respite giving me a life and the extra 4 block on Arcane. And it was still a good game. I think I could have played better. I didn't have any nerves, but I was screwing up a lot, like being on stream, because it's totally different protocol, right? You have like the stream dice and like the life counter. I was messing that up constantly. Majin, experienced, he was making sure I was on top of things. So very gracious opponent and had a great time. And that was the end of my calling run.
You both opened your gold foils. One of you got a great card. The other one got a card that I personally like. So,
yep, it's right here.
We got Kabuto and Lightning Greaves, right?
Kabuto of Imperial Authority and Lightning Greaves.
Yep. So I sold this card to my local instantly. I knew he is a big Acilio and Aurora fan. So he is definitely invested into Aurora 2.0. So it was, I messaged him and like, you want it? And he's like, yes, instantly. I'm like, done. So that was the quickest turnaround on prize money I could have.
I know many people want to get this off of me. You know, everybody's like vibing for this Kabuto, but sorry, it's going to Josh.
Your warrior friend, I see.
Yeah, my warrior friend.
All right. So I have several questions. The most surface level question is, now that Florian has left, we might see a little bit of an uptick in Mario's. I don't know what other decks Florian was really keeping down, but presumably the meta game will change a little bit. Also, we've started to see decks like Verdance kind of start to fall off a little bit. I think people are kind of getting the memo that Verdance is not that great. We've seen Syndra have a little bit more success recently as well. So how do those, adjustments, in particular Florian, affect the deck?
Personally, I think Florian caught strays.
Okay.
All of our tech for other matchups, we just happened to learn literally on the spot. Like at the end of day 1, we talked about the Dreadscythe matchup because we can't change our deck list, right? So we're like, how do we approach this? And we're like, is it really that bad? And it wasn't. So yeah, we didn't.
There's not a single card in the deck dedicated to Florian.
Nope.
Okay. So on the surface level, nothing really changes here.
Nope, nothing changes. Like, if Facility is more popular, I might like try to fit in a third bell. Yes, I know, a third bell.
Third bell. If Syndra's more popular, maybe a third TBC maybe tries to come back in, just stop flicks and incidental damage. But it's all like little stuff, right? The big meta hero that we're like having to spend a ton of cards in is Acilio and Gravy Bones.
Okay.
Everybody else just catches strays.
Yeah, poor Fang. Losing Clash.
Dude, Fang gets shot by Clash of Bravado.
Yeah. Dude, Clash of Bravado is so brutal into him.
Yeah. Okay. We kind of talked about a lot of these cards. Is there any cards that you kind of want to go over right now?
Up on a pedestal.
This card is the best card in the deck.
It
This card
unhinged.
is every card in the deck.
That's why our deck is so toolboxy. You see one boulder drop. Everyone was like so excited for red boulder drop. We started with 3, we went to 2, and then we said, "What is the worst card on our deck?" And it was literally the second boulder drop. We don't need it. 1 is good enough. We see it once. It gets blocked with usually, and it's just waiting to be up on a pedestal and be our disruptive piece for the turn.
I mean, up on a pedestal is literally like every card in your deck. It's like whatever you need in the current moment. That is what up on a pedestal is.
Okay.
It's arsenalable, which is like incredible. I would play this if it was a non-attack action with Go Again. The fact that it's instant that's arsenalable it's just so wild.
How often do you use your hero ability?
I want to say like maybe 3 times a game.
Okay.
It's very impactful when you do, though. It's like extremely impactful.
So this card basically allows you to move your defensive value from one turn to another turn, which is a very, very, very rare ability in the game of Flesh and Blood. So it's basically like, okay, you didn't have a big turn this turn. That's fine. I'll set up a little bit. Okay, you're going for a big turn. It's kind of like the equivalent of drawing off of Balance of Justice on a Blood Rush Spell turn. It's like, all right, this is your big turn. All right, I'll have 5 cards to defend this turn. Yep. So that's kind of like
balance of justice on the board.
In the palm of your hand, it's like having 3 Balance of Justices per game. That if your opponent ever gives you any space, you could put it out there, and your opponent looks at that and says, "For the next 2 turns, I can't do anything."
Right.
Somebody's asking about hostile encroachment.
Yeah, I was about to get to that question. Can you guys explain a little bit about the anaconda at the end of the game? Like,
this card is so good.
Like,
dude, I can't. Dude,
okay, let's go with the story. Okay, Damien plays against a Kasai in some random test game, right?
And on Talishar,
he loses against our like 100-0 matchup, and he says to me, "I'm never going to lose to Kasai again. Remember this, Thomas. I need to remember this for later." And he sends me a message with 2 words, and the first word is crush, and the second word is discard. And he comes back later. He's like, "Thomas, hostile encroachment." I look at it and go, "It's kind of weird, right? They get to draw a card." And he's like, "But Thomas, what if they don't have any cards to draw?" And I go, "Oh, okay, I get it.
Okay, let's break this down like really simply here. So we get to the end of the game. How do you recur this card and play it several times?
You play up on a pedestal.
Aha. So everything's coming back to this broken card. And because this is a blue, it's going to be in your deck.
Oh, and the fact hostile encroachment is only 3 pitch, like, so you could block 6 swing them.
Right.
Yeah, and then you activate pedestal and put it back on the top of the deck because it's a leave trigger as well. This is basically make your own Mask of Recurring Nightmare. Like it's news endgame built into a Guardian package, which is like broken.
So the card where we really thought it, funny enough, he teched this for like never losing to Kasai accidentally again. But we realized this is most effective against KO, because KO you pretty much spend the entire game block. Almost none of your disruption matters because he's got so much armor that like the 1 or 2 times you send disruption in the game, he just covers it with armor. So a lot of times you're like at like 6 life, and he's at like 30 plus life. And he's got 4 blues in his hand, and he's got a claw, and he's going to walk you down and mill your deck down with just claw. Unless you play hostile encroachment and take his last 4 cards out of his deck.
So playing this for the first time will get their armor. Playing this for the second time gets even if they take the full damage, they lose a card. Eventually they go down to 1 or 0 cards left.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Let's talk a little bit more about the philosophy of this deck. So you're basically trying to gain equity with the tough smash ups, creating toughness tokens. So the value of the deck is the defensive value of the deck is extremely high. It has the ability to move its defensive power turns to meet the opponent's offensive power turns, and then you have a devastating end game, and you're always going to get to that end game. So combining all these three concepts together, that's how you get this like deck that, like, normally when we talk about decks, we say like, oh, this is like a 60-40, a 50-50, 70-30, but there are matchups that, because you see your whole deck and the game plays out almost the same every single game, there are 100-0 matchups with this deck. So
very close. Yes.
Yeah. So
your opponent needs to know how to pitch stack, and once they pitch stack, they have to know how to protect that pitch stack from Miller's Grindstone.
Yep.
And Righteous Cleansing.
Which
it's like really messed up. This deck has incredible amounts of skill ceiling. Your deck manipulation is so difficult. Like knowing where to put stuff, knowing exactly how to block, when to bottom, how to clash, when to clash, and pitch stacking. There's like so much going on with this deck.
Let's note on fresh deck, I think you have a 48% chance to lose your clash, or sorry, win your clash to anyone who ever just flips an attack. Really bad. Your clash math is terrible. Blind in this deck.
Interesting.
You know, out of all the people that I give this deck to and like show them how to play the deck, all of them really like the deck. Like, even the ones that hated the concept played the deck and liked the deck and thought it was very interesting. Even people that hate fatigue. Because it's got a lot of actions that you take. And there's a lot of thinking and, skill expression in it. So I think I really like the deck, obviously. What are your thoughts on the deck?
Mine or Josh's?
Yours.
Oh,
I have a whole rant.
I love this deck so much. It's forced me to become a better player, because I've been playing a lot of decks that, until I played Archaeo, I usually just didn't care what my opponent's pitch deck was at all. I played so many decks that, like, it could be helpful, but it wasn't worth the cognitive load. Archaeo was my first delve into decks where trying to track a player's pitch deck was worth it, because Archaeo he was okay going second cycle. This deck goes like third cycle pretty commonly. So I learned a lot playing this deck about like threat density, tracking pitch cycle, cards versus life. Man, and I just love swinging Miller's Grindstone. When you swing 4 at someone, this is the most vanilla 4 ever, and your opponent goes, "Oh God."
Where would you rate this in comparison to Winter's Wail?
Strictly worse. Winter's Wail is crazy.
Yeah. But it's got the same it's coming in for 4.
Yes, your opponent's going to tank. They got to figure out their entire turn rolling around a Frostbite. I would say Miller's Grindstone sometimes just wins you games on the spot, where Winter's Wail doesn't. But Winter's Wail is crazy.
Winter's Wail doesn't interrupt the immediate turn. I mean, not Winter's Wail. Miller's Grindstone doesn't interrupt the immediate turn.
Sometimes you just die anyway on the next turn cycle, right?
Grindstone hampers future turns. It doesn't hamper the current turn. So it's like, people just not block it. But when you not block it, and I flip over Tarantula Toxin off the top of your deck, you do just lose the game. It's like crazy.
Yeah, like you play against a Huntsman, you hit one of their 3 cut to the chases. They have so few attack reactions. You hit a cut to the chase, they go, "Oh God." You hit a Hunter hunted off the top of their deck.
It'll never hit a Huntsman, but like you're playing against.
You say that. The Miller's Grindstone hits everybody. Eventually, people get tired of blocking this hammer.
I mean, it's just like, and it's really funny because sometimes it doesn't have it on hit. It's just 4 damage. That's the best part.
Oh, I've definitely swung my hammer with Sigil Solace sitting on top and care.
I'm like Fate Foreseen. Yeah, that's a miss, but I want to draw it. Oh, hammer for 4, and they're like block 4. I'm like, dude. I'm like, yep, cool, dick.
Especially with Arsenal, they don't want to take a chance that you're just gonna up on a pedestal them anyway, right? Like they're just like,
oh, dude, the real ones are like when I like I like block with a tough smash up, and I'm like, I have to sink below, leave it on top. I swing militants, and they're like, take 4. I'm like, pedestal. I'm like, yeah, it's not a miss anymore.
Mill germinate.
You're like, oh, crap.
All right.
Yeah, I love this deck.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I have gotten dozens of questions about this deck from a Warriors perspective. I did make a tweet earlier talking about how this is a very, very, very bad deck for Warriors if this becomes meta. Instead of replying to everybody's messages, I will just say this, and you can kind of clip this and send it to people. So the reason why the Kasai matchup against this version of Pleiades is basically 0% is because you cannot generate enough gold to raise an army for 6 before you run out of deck.
6 isn't even enough.
6 is not even enough. 6 is like the minimum.
You need
6
7.
you
7
need 7
is where you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So basically, if you want to ensure that your attacks hit, you're going to need to include cards like Route to ensure that when you activate Kasai, it's going to hit. But if you don't, you're probably going to have 4 gold by the time you get to like 3rd cycle and you just lose. Also, all of your copper generation is basically negated because obviously they're never going to let Spoils of War hit. Blade Flurry plus Iron Sarg Response plus In the Swing is not enough. Most Kasai decks run 5 attack reactions right now, which does not cut it. And yeah, so if you go all the way to the late game, what happens is that Miller's is going to come in for 4, your Saber is going to come in for 2. Maybe you have a hot streak. Even then, you can't break through the Heart of Fendel plus the Rampart of the Ram's Head. So that matchup is essentially 0%. Fang, if you are built as a mid-range Fang with like 9 to 12 D-reacts, literally 0% chance to win this. If you are a very, very aggro, like 55 red version with a couple yellows, maybe you have a small chance to win. But even then, the toughness tokens, the way it interacts, you block for 4, and most of the pumps that you play on the first chain link will pump it to 4. So not only is it difficult to get online, cards like Clash of Bravado blow up your fealty tokens. And at the Supreme late game, your damage output drops to 1 per turn because you cannot give your Obsidian Firevein go again. And obviously, a Supreme late game with a 1 power weapon is never going to deal damage to Pleiades. DGA also is 0%. Now, you might be like, Josh, DGA is like the ultimate resilient, goes the long distance warrior deck. Well, the way toughness tokens interact with the cutting of the defensive values from DGA, it just doesn't work. And then they have disruption, and they can get rid of the last cards in your deck with hostile encroachment. So that is also 0% chance. Dawnblade Dorinthia does have a shot if you can get a counter. That is quite good. This deck does have, I think, 60 reacts, plus they have Oasis Respite, plus to be continued. So maybe you could get lucky, hit one of the Oasis Respites with a Jagged Edge, come in with big attack reactions that, give +5 or +6, and get a counter, and then next turn you have Dominate, and maybe next turn you have Dominate, and maybe you can get there if you snowball really hard. But if we get to the extreme late game, Dorinthia has a 3 power weapon, and Miller, Heart of Fendel plus Rampart of the Ram's Head heals 2, essentially, for no cards in the deck. And Miller's is obviously going to deal 4 plus deal deck damage to you every single time. And also the hostile encroachment loop at the end of the game is also very deadly. Finally, we have Bolton, which Damien and I discussed this. Actually, we think is decent into Pleiades, especially
best warrior. Yep.
By far the
He
best
is
warrior.
Easily the best.
Because you have, assuming that you have Remembrance in your list, which I believe all of them should, you basically have the Cheerios version of Raiden Bolton, and you spend the first portion of the game building up your soul a little bit, and then as soon as your tunic is on 3, you have a V in the arsenal, you just rip it and go. And the idea is that when you double charge a V, it comes in for 5, maybe 6, Pleiades can't just take that, so they have to block 2 cards. Then you come in with Raiden, 5 or 6. They can't just let that hit, so they block with 2 cards. And then Chainlink 3, Chainlink 4, you hit them with Bolt of Courage, Snatch, Illuminate, Battlefield, Beacon, whatever, to as the Chain 3, Chain 4. And you get some damage in there. And then you repeat that process 4, 5, 6 times with the Remembrance. And the fact that Bolton's hero ability is very effective against all the attack actions in the deck is very, very nice. Now, Bolton does not have a quote-unquote real weapon, but he does have a very, very strong hero ability plus burst turns. Ironically, the V turns
Good
are
attack
like
reactions as well.
Yeah, he can also have Courageous Steel Hand, which allows you to push over quite a bit. So that is already like, some damage leak there, plus the hero ability, some damage leak there, plus the Chain Enders on the V turn, a little bit of damage there. Ironically, you may not actually want to be, you want to be playing out like regular vanilla Lumina Ascension turns, because you actually don't want to burn cards randomly from your deck, because if you accidentally flip a V, I'm pretty sure Lumina is not a May. It just goes into your soul. So, yeah. So Bolton has a chance, but the other warriors really do not. Obviously, Compendium may change some things, but we'll have to see. Anything to add there?
Yeah, don't let your Spirit Ring get clash rewarded. Wait, is it an item?
It is an item.
Aura.
It's an item.
Yeah.
Never mind. Ah, yes. Yeah, no, just like Bolton has like a 40% matchup in the deck. It's actually it's got like a good matchup. Well,
one
not
of the
good.
tech
It's kind of
cards
like
one of the tech
better.
cards that we're not playing right now because we took out because it's volatility. If Bolton were a reasonable deck that we saw a lot of in the meta, No Hero Stands Alone would come back in, sure.
You give a V -3 power before the
Yeah,
reaction stuff.
oh my goodness. Gauntlets of Iron Will, not the gauntlets,
It's
the
Gauntlets
generic
of Iron.
version.
Yeah,
The generic one.
Yeah,
that would hurt so bad.
it's Stonewall Gauntlets
Stonewall
on crack.
Gauntlet.
It just says clash. If you win, -3/-3 to an attack, and Bolton goes, oh,
great.
pass.
Pass. Great. So yeah. Okay. I think you guys mentioned that you wanted to add some people to the call to discuss a little bit more about Pleiades. I believe there were 8 people that took Pleiades to the calling in Columbus. I believe 6 or 7 of them were on the fatigue variant. Damien, I will
5 of them were in our like really close group, right? It was Randy, Okami, and Howl. So
yeah, so I know it was Brick, Randy.
Oh, and Howl. Brick. Yep.
And then there were a few others, and then I think there was a normal Pleiades there as well. Somebody not playing fatigue. I do think that they were
definitely on Aura Moment Maker.
I do think that there is a good Moment Maker list somewhere in the world.
Pat is asking about Cries of Encore. What's he talking about there?
Did you discuss Cries of Encore? That card sucks. In this variant of Pleiades. The problem with Cries of Encore is that it doesn't have evasion the first time you throw it. And it does absolutely nothing if you're ahead. And there are a lot of matchups where you are ahead. If you are behind in throwing this card, I don't know what your opponent is doing that they left you 2 cards to throw a 7 that often doesn't do very much. That's how I feel about Cries of Encore. Cool card, though. I love this card. I'd like to see a playable version of Pleiades that uses this card.
Okay, I'm gonna pull Randy up.
I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this question. This has like never actually had text. It's just 8 power Guardian card.
It basically never has text. It always gets blocked by the arm. Because if you're losing, your opponent probably has armor. They put 1 card and 2 block armors in front of it, and then you go, all right, great. I have a confidence token I'm not going to use next turn.
Hey, Josh.
looking at me.
Yes.
We're gonna pull Randy up. Are we
Yeah.
good for the layout?
Yes, that's fine. As long as he
the
doesn't
no
turn his
text card
camera
is
on.
standing ovation.
Okay. Here we go. Hey, Randy.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey. So, we're here discussing the deck. We went over all of our records. How did you do at Calling Columbus? And how did you feel about the deck?
Well, I went 4-3, but that's no fault of the deck. I made a couple little play errors that got me. I had only one what I would consider true loss. I kind of got high rolled by a KO that just had the dream double blood rush, pop chest, send 30 something in a turn kind of deal. But outside of that, like the deck performed extremely well. Any loss that I had was 100% on me. I went back and reviewed the games a million times in my head, and it's definitely me, not the deck. So I would happily snap play it again at a calling tomorrow if I could. I believe
How hard do you think this deck is?
way harder than it looks.
Dude, it's like so hard.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
just like fatigue slop, turn cards sideways, win game.
Yeah. I played a million different fatigue decks, and it's the toolbox option, right? Like every time you have pedestal, you're like, oh, I can do like 40 things right now. Which one's the right thing to do? Or should I not use it right now and pitch it for later, right? Like there's a lot to it.
So tempting to grab cards off a pedestal in the middle of the game when you need to save the pedestal for later in the game. It's just so tempting to cast it.
100%.
Oh man.
You're like, will I die before I see this? Should I've just gotten a blue 8 that's a 3 block that can always swing hammer?
Exactly. And you have the luxury of like pitch stacking, and this deck pitch stacks like so much better than every other fatigue deck I've ever played with the what's the block card that makes you discard, right? You know, like set that up and then Iron Grip, and then set like 3, 4, 8s behind it so that, once you see it on the back end, you're safe regardless, that type of stuff.
I love blocking with a test of Iron Grip and saying 8 up before I even flip the card.
Yeah, exactly.
So I this deck pitch stacks in a very interesting way. I don't want to call it pitching because you don't pitch the card. When you reveal cards off of a smash up and you pitch you stack them that way, that's just like so messed up. To like put cards that you never want to draw into your pitch deck that need to be there. Like every time I flip Remembrance, I go, I'm so happy I don't have to draw this card.
You could take your toughness, my friend. Anyway, hammer for 4, give me card.
It's so funny.
The number of times, I was just gonna say the number of times like I lost a clash giving my opponent that one toughness that like they were just priced into blocking from hand, which is what I want them to do. It was actually pretty nice.
Is there anything you would change about the deck card wise? Any card feel like it didn't do what it was supposed to?
Actually, no. I would love for everybody to not play Pulverize. Like,
dude, we talked about this the night before. It's like, can we all gentlemen's agreement to not play Pulverize? And I was like, it's too late, Randy. We can't communicate to everybody.
This card is such a brick.
That's our third
boy. I guess against Stash.io, specifically against Stash.io, if you have it in the discard and you know you're going to do your clash, you're going to do up on a pedestal, you don't lose to max with this card.
That's true. But I feel like the max B variation is so free. Did you get to play against the Sutherland list with the lens recurrence?
Oh, we played against it on Talshar. That deck is really cool.
Yeah, that deck's super cool.
I stalked the crap out of it. They played 3 Techno Pounders on 4, and then
I did not draw Staunch, and it was very scary. I played 2 Dios over the calling. The Max V, I ended the game at 40 life versus that deck. The Lens one I actually lost to. It was their last turn to kill me, and I had a little bit of a bricky hand. and I definitely lost some value like throughout the game. That was just me playing poorly. So I think we're definitely still favored, but that one's a lot scarier if you don't draw staunch for sure.
I do want to mention some credits, Randy, because you were the person that totally convinced me that Clash of Bravado needed to be in this deck no matter what. We were at Battle Hard in Atlanta, and I watched you block a Florian with Clash of Bravado, and you blew up his brand new Channel Mount Heroic that you just played on a double Channel Mount Heroic turn, and the card effectively blocked like 21 points of value.
Yeah, that card was absolutely wild.
It doesn't say token aura. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
No,
That's why this is
it
a majestic,
destroys-
boys. Oh.
Josh, you haven't been exposed to me blowing up your sharpened senses yet.
Oh my god, it's so. I had a Kasai activate Kasai, play Sharpened Senses, swing into me. I blocked with Clash of Bravado, blew up their Sharpened Senses, and they passed.
Yep. Yeah, it just turns go again off immediately, and you just IP3
The
or
second card you convinced us to run is Overcrowded, and this card has saved me in so many Ranger and Assassin.
Yeah, I love it. I love the other card more when it works. Like No Hero is phenomenal, but then sometimes like I feel like I have to complete too many mini quests just to get it to do the thing I want it to do. So that's why I swapped over for ease of play, and Mario's kind of everywhere right now, so it was simple.
I've won clashes with this card.
Tile.
I have
won
too.
clashes with it. Yeah, me too, dude. They're like non-attack. I'm like Overcrowded. I'll make it tough. Man.
Yeah. Deck is phenomenal. 10 of 10, recommend to everybody to play. Even if you're not a fatigue player, pick it up and try it. You'll be surprised at how much you actually do in the game.
Playing
Yeah,
it will
this
help you
isn't
beat
your-
it too. So
This isn't your traditional fatigue deck. It's not boring. It's very exciting. I think like people have come around on this deck very quickly after like watching games or playing a game with it. It's like very, very nice.
throwing Righteous Cleansing
It's-
makes your neurons fire. It's like a dopamine
Drawing
rush every
Pulverize
time.
makes my neurons fire, dude. I almost throw games like when I draw Pulverize. I'm like, oh gosh, cannot.
Judge, I need a token that's not in my deck box, please.
Do you guys keep this on turn 0?
No, I was
No?
that was the game against Jasker. I had a Thunderquake in my hand, and I was like, Judge, I don't have a token for the action I'm about to do. And I go, heave Pulverize? I mean, heave Thunderquake?
You're supposed to have these 4 tokens, boys.
Yeah, I know. I got a Seismic Surge immediately after that game, but I was like, I've never heaved a card in this deck in like random matches. Like in like 700 games, I had never heaved a card. Like I was just like, I need to draw more copies of Ripple Away.
Even the mirror, you usually just put it in the arsenal and swing Sledge. Like it's very rare that you actually make the Seismic Surges. I think your specific line was that you just wanted to get 2 blues out of your hand, right?
I needed to draw more copies of Ripple Away, so I heaved the Thunderquake.
Fair.
Yep.
All right. Any other things that you want to mention about your weekend, Randy?
No, I was extremely happy to watch you guys crushing it. You know, I wanted to be right there with you, but like you said, the deck is actually pretty hard. Had a pretty good run prior to it, but made a few little errors, and that's not a world that you can really get away with them. So very, very happy you guys crushed the top 8. Well, crushed to the top 8. You made top 8. That's a huge, huge feat. So congratulations to both of you guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Is there some other players that you would like to join the call so we can talk with them?
Yeah, we'll bring in Howl.
He made day 2.
He did make day 2.
Yep. There
So
were
I will bring you
3
back down,
plays.
Randy.
He misplayed to be continued on stream.
Yeah.
We can ask him about it.
See you, Randy. Talk to you
See ya.
later. Hello, Hal. I do not think he is here.
I'm here.
Oh no!
Oh, he is
here.
here.
You
Ah.
can't hear us.
Okay, so
Yeah,
All right, Hal.
I was muting stream so that way I didn't hear feedback.
there we
from
go.
talking.
That makes sense.
All right.
So we
Hal.
have the other player that made day 2 with Pleiades from Columbus. How was your tournament?
It was really good. Very stressful. Because I started 2-2.
Mm-hmm.
And so day 1 was like insanely stressful for the last 3 rounds because I'm like, I literally can't lose another game.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm just out of day 2, and all I really want to do is just day 2.
Right.
And then day 2 itself was again stressful because I lost round 1. So then I had to play stressed out in the next 3 rounds if I wanted to like make cash.
Mm-hmm.
Which I didn't make cash. I was off by 7 spots. I took 39th place. But I had a record that could have made cash if my breakers had been a little bit better. And so I was very happy with the weekend.
Were there any games that you want to tell us about in particular? Any like standout games or standout moments? I believe you were also on stream once, so maybe you could talk a little bit about that.
Yes, I was the round 3 stream.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about 2 games.
Okay, sure. Go for it.
The round 3 stream game, and then my last game of Swiss, round 12, which was the only time I played against Acilio, and I felt I'll get to it whenever we get there. So the stream game, the only thing I really want to talk about in the stream game is like the game went basically how you're supposed to play it for 99% of the game. I blocked as efficiently as I could, kept my life total as high as I could, so that way when we got down to the
which matchup was this?
Dagger loop against a Syndra.
Okay. Yeah.
So that way when we get down to the Dagger loop,
a dual threat Syndra, right?
yeah, he was on
Kadachi.
Kadachi. One Kadachi, one of the kunais.
Whoa! Wow. Okay.
Yeah, dude, he was cooking.
It's spicy. It's spicy.
It was surprisingly good value over the course of the game, but also I was playing a fatigue deck, so I kind of just let him do whatever he wanted. And so I didn't really attack a bunch. I got like, I think 4 cards with Miller's Grindstone over the course of the game, which is why at the end of it he was at like 19. The biggest thing that I wanted to talk about was the reason why I played it the way that I did on stream for the final turn, the one where I lost, is that in a prior event a few months ago, I was given incorrect information about how TBC works. I was told that it works the first time after it is played each turn, not that it's like Channel Lightning Valley where it checks the entire turn. And so because of that, I tunnel visioned on the incorrect play line, which was to try to TBC, because I know that he has Mounting Anger plus Ancestral Empowerment in his hand. And so I wanted to TBC the Mounting Anger, so that way he didn't get the Mounting Anger trigger on the cut through he was going to draw off the top of his deck, off of the Ancestral. But in hindsight, after looking back at the game, what I should have done was recognize that I have Hostile Encroachment in my graveyard, and my next hand, after the final turn hand, is going to have my last copy of Up on a Pedestal in it. And so I would have had the ability to have TBC around for 3 turns, which would have prevented 3 flicks if I had played it on the flick turn instead, or on the flick instead of attempting to play it on the Mounting Anger. And then I would have upped the Hostile Encroachment on top after blocking with the other 3 cards, drawn the Hostile, blocked with 2 cards, because at that point in the game, his only cards left are the daggers, because over the next couple of turns, he's going to play out the last cut through, play out his last copy of Ancestral Empowerment. His arsenal is some random blue attack reaction like Concealed Blade or something. And so at that point, I'll get to Hostile Encroachment him. I'll like keep my life total high on the final turn, because I will play the TBC on the flick, block 6 on the Mounting Anger, and he's still going to play the Ancestral because he has to. Because if he doesn't play the Ancestral, he's going to draw up a hand that's Ancestral, Cut Through. And at that point, the game ends on the spot. because I'm never letting the cut through get through for like 2 more turns. And so at that point, I just get to do whatever I want for 2 turns for free.
Okay.
And so he's gonna Ancestral Empowerment to draw the cut through, play it, probably play the attack reaction out of his arsenal to get as much damage on it as possible. I would have blocked it for 3, so I would have taken like 1, maybe 2 points of damage. And then his last hand is going to be cut through Ancestral 1 blue card. And his next turn is going to be Dagger, Dagger, activate Flick, cut through Ancestral. I block it out, I play up, I activate Pleiades, move the last counter over to TBC, get my Hostile Encroachment back, go to my next turn, block for 6, hostile his last 1 or 2 cards if he decides not to like play the Ancestral or something. Hostile his last 1 or 2 cards, and then at that point I have the ability to outgrind him.
Sounds like that
very close game.
Sounds like that game is one of those like games where small decisions can make a pretty big difference, and it's not like super obvious all the time. Okay.
Yeah. You get 40 turns to flick knives. It's kind of the way you need to think about it. So you try to mitigate every other possible way that you're taking damage. At 40 turns to flick knives, if you can block efficiently, occasionally throw a command and conquer, then even if they kind of fat deck into you, you usually come out very close to even on cards. You are going to get to a point where they have very little threat left in their deck. And if you kept your life total high enough, you don't have to give up cards anymore, and you can work your way towards the dagger endgame that Hal was working his way towards. If you keep 1 TBC in the deck, you got Heart of Final in the deck, you can actually gain a little bit of life on them, clear out the rest of their cards with Miller's Grindstone, and throw Hostile Encroachment a few times to lock out the game.
Yeah, and that's the end game that I should have played for, but again, I tunnel visioned on an incorrect play where even if TBC worked the way that I thought it did, it was still the incorrect play to make. I still should have just played the TBC on the flick and then just blocked 6 on the Mounting Anger, giving up both of my remaining pieces of armor on his daggers that turn to keep maximum card block in maximum 3 blocks in hand, because that's my heart. I have the heart in the hand.
Yep.
So I can take like 1 or 2 points of damage and go from like 6 to 5 on his last attack of the turn, which would be the cut through, so that I can heart Miller's, put him to 16, and then gain 1 life back to 6. And then the next turn I draw the up, and then I hostile encroachment him the turn after.
All right, what's the other game?
The other game was the final round 12, where I finally played against the first Acilio the entire day. Like the entire event. I didn't play against a single Acilio. I played against like 2 Victors, 3 Gravies. I played against like the Great Axe Bolton. Like I had all the weird. I had like 4 like
That's
weird
wild.
matchups. I like after the Syndra game, I played against like the Dreadscythe stack deck, like pure stack, not like Yakuzer's list or the list that Damien played against.
And the X3 bracket is wild.
That was
Dude,
X2. That was X1 bracket.
Yeah.
Because that was round 4. That's what I lost to round 4. So like back-to-back rounds, I like lost the stream game and then played against like the 99-1 matchup, which was just pure stack Florian. And so the last round, I finally play against the Acilio, and I had just found out from Taylor that there's a very large chunk of X4s that will make cash, right? There was going to be like 26, 27 X4s, and I think it was like, the number was like 17 of them, 18 of them, I think was going to make cash at top 32. And so I was like, all right, I need to lock in for this game. And oh my God, I ended the game at 31, and he ended the game at 32. I bodied that man. I had the
do right? Like they they try to set up, and you throw a Righteous Cleansing and find like 2 gone.
I attacked him twice the entire game. One was a Miller's, which ate a Comet Storm, and then the second was a CNC, which ate his Gone in a Flash out of his arsenal.
Oh,
yeah, let's go.
Love CNC.
And so he tried to pitch stack me, and so I knew that he was pitch stacking, and so when I played my bells, he tried to like bait one of the bells on his first Gone in a Flash turn, and then I was just like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna activate bell. You can send this etchings for 8. I'll AB6. Take two. And then he was like, uh-oh. My turn 0, because he won the die roll and he chose to go second. I had the nuttiest turn 0 start I had the entire event. My turn 0 was play Bell, play In the Palm, draw Hungry for more, play Hungry for more, Arsenal Sigil, pass.
Okay.
Dude, that's messed up. That's messed up. You can beat every Achille
that's
with
when Hungry for More is better than Fiddler's Green. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that had been a Fiddler's, I would have just Arsenal Sigil passed with a Fiddler's in my hand.
It'd have
But
been
it would have
fine.
been fine.
But, yeah.
It would have been fine. It was just comical that I drew the Hungry.
Being able to
because
float the palm with the Hungry. Yes.
Yeah, I got to float the palm. And so I knew that he was trying to pitch stack me, and so he tried to debate the Bell out, and we got to the late game where I hit the first turn that I wanted to Bell, because I wanted to Bell back to back, because I knew his pitch stack, right? His pitch stack was going to be his final Gone in a Flash turn, which I was going to Bell, and then his final Blast to Oblivion turn, which I was again going to Bell, because he had 2 blasts in his pitch stack. And so I was going to Bell back to back on those turns and basically end the game. Because he has a Sigil of Brilliance in his arsenal that he's trying to wait for the Bell, or that he's trying to wait for the blast turn. And so we get to the first Bell turn, and I know his pitch stack, but I don't remember one specific card. He either has a Lightning Press in his hand or an Etchings of Arcana in his hand. And it's either they're either in his hand or they're on the top of his deck. And so he goes to play the second Gone in a Flash of the turn. And I go, I'm going to respond with Gone in a Flash on the layer. Not after it's resolved as an attacking card, just on the layer.
That's when you have to do it. You have to do it. There's a very specific reason you have to do it that way. Because Electromagnetic Somersault cannot be resolved if you haven't let the Gone in a Flash.
He actually didn't have any electromagnetics in his deck.
I'm just saying that's an important distinction. You always
also the Gone in a Flash only sees the instant once it hits the chain. So you press it so that you can bounce Gone in a Flash. And so
I belled, and I was like, if it's Lightning Press, he has to do this while it's on the layer, or else he loses the card. And then I get to perfect block, knowing that his arsenal is Sigil of Brilliance, and he's not going to play it. Because he wants to save it for the blast turn. And if it's Etchings of Arcana, he's at 4 lightning cards on the turn, so he's going to amp 4. And so then I discard the Etchings, and then because I have a red and a blue as the last 2 cards in my hand. And so I didn't want to potentially take a big Etchings for 7 or 8 damage, and then potentially have a risk of losing in the end game to just a bunch of big back-to-back burn spells that he put into his pitch. And so I belled him, and it was the Lightning Press. And so I got the Lightning Press out of his hand, perfect blocked, knew that he wasn't going to Sigil, and then he passed. I took 1 damage and went to 30. Sorry, no. I went to 28 because I was at 29. And then the Hungry for More that I had him play triggered and put me to 31. And then he goes to play out his next turn after I passed, and I go, block with Test of Iron Grip, play up on a pedestal, put Righteous on top, and then he concedes.
Good job, love. Test of Iron Grip.
And then I took 39th place, which was very unfortunate. Just short, but I can't be mad about the run. It was a very good one. The only thing I can be mad about is my stream game where I fucked up and I should play better.
Most of my losses, I've thought to myself, I could have played better.
I feel like I could have beaten every deck I've lost to if I just played the game a little differently. Which is crazy.
I mean, Flesh and Blood is one of those games that has a very, 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 very high.
And it's always incremental value. It's always I missed a point here or I missed a point there, but these points add up over your fatigue game of 25 turns.
When your game is between 13 and 20 turns long, these little points you miss here and there matter so much.
Sure.
Also, it was something very interesting that happened throughout the week. I never had to rush anybody because Miller's Grindstone really makes it so you don't have to rush anybody.
It eats through the deck pretty quick.
It is a good card. Well,
The only two matches that I felt like I lost when I couldn't do anything differently was the Great Axe Bolton and the Florian player. I didn't know that he was on Great Axe. If I had known he was on Great Axe, I would have flipped Sledge and then just fatigued him.
I still flip Millers into Great Axe because Rampart's just messed up in the Death Smoter. Rampart is a banger.
I mean, the issue though is that like he just doesn't care about Millers.
Oh no, but eventually he just starts eating away at him.
No, he plays 6 D reacts that he can just one card block Millers with, which he did all 12 times.
Only 6?
No, I said 12.
Oh, 12.
I mean, he definitely doesn't beat your card density.
Actually, no, sorry, it was 15. It was 15 because he played all the 0 for 9s, and then
0 for 4s.
no,
Nine,
sorry, it was 18. It was all 0. It was 18. It was all 0 for 9s and all copies of the Steel Blade Shunt.
All right.
Okay.
Well.
Yep.
I think that's it for us bringing in people for today. We're gonna move on to the matchup tier list. It was nice talking to you, Hal. We will talk to you later.
Thanks, Hal.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Can't wait to play the deck at Memphis.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.
How do you want to organize this? Do we want unlosable type of
No.
heavily favored?
No.
In my opinion, in the game of Flesh and Blood, you almost always have a chance to lose.
Okay.
A good pilot playing their game plan correctly can beat you sometimes. So yeah, it'd be favored to like unfavored.
All right. Where do these heroes go?
Let's
And
start
why?
with Slippy. I think you're Slippy. I think you're heavily favored in a Slippy.
Yeah,
There's just
he's
like
the
no
worst.
way.
He's the worst of the Arachnes.
He's the
Some
worst.
were commenting that like, yeah, you get the fork by the go again, but every toughness token you generate eats 1 point of value off of one of his attack reactions, and the attack reaction hits you, you just go shrug. You just played a 1 card 2. You're gonna fatigue.
Okay.
Miller's also just eats their deck like easy. Like if you like get got by an attack reaction, you know what you have? A card in hand. Actually, Miller's.
Huntsman, even. This is a skill-based matchup. This matchup is so much fun.
Dude,
I
you have to
love
play.
playing this
Dude,
matchup.
it's actually just a game of chess. It's so crazy. You have to you both have to jump through like 90 hoops to beat each other.
Because they're trying to pitch down their. This is like against us, a huntsman who knows what they're doing. This is like the only deck they pitch hunter or hunted down against. They like know that you're arsenaling like a remembrance or a palm, and they go, "Okay, I'm just gonna pitch my hunter or hunted and make you sit on this palm in your arsenal."
All right, Marionette. I think Marionette
Heavily favored. It's less favored than Slippy, but still insanely heavily favored.
Like, if the first time you stop a flick with a to be continued, you're gonna go, holy. Like, when you stick your 2B for like 5 or 6 turns against Marionette, they just lose this game. There's no recovering from like not being able to mark us. It's really bad.
All right, I think both Betsy and Bravo we are favored. They are just terrible guardians. Dominate is a suggestion, overpower more so. They don't have a game plan that actually wins them the game, and every other guardian we play against has some better game plan to beat Pleiades than those two.
Yep. Syndra, slightly favored.
Yeah. I waffle on the even on this one. I really struggle into this matchup. Damien tells me it's easy.
I don't struggle into it.
I'll defer to Damien on this one. Slightly favored.
I lose my Rampart sometimes and still beat them. Like,
yeah, she can blow up your Rampart with R the Dragon Scaled.
I like literally this dude blows up my Rampart, and you know, Heart of Findle encroachment still just enough to close the game out. Like, it's. I mean,
Dash
you do have to like block very well. Dash
yes.
Heavily favored.
Heavily favored. You have to play out of your mind and do all kinds of weird stuff to even have a chance.
and you still don't win after doing all of that.
You just eat away your deck way too fast. Yeah, Dorinthia.
Heavily favored.
I don't have a lot of experience in this matchup, so
I've played it. Yeah, I've played it a bunch of times. It's just dude, like if they ever get a counter and you draw test of Outer Grip, they just go, my counter, it's gone. And also just like staunch response is just brutal, right?
Yeah.
Phi, even.
Yep, I think he has a fatigue game plan that competes with ours. Go down to even cards. Very tough.
Because
I think we're still better than him because his attacks kind of suck. I mean, he has no disruption really at all.
This is assuming that he has 2 Phoenix Flames and he can go like Flame, Ember Blade, Flame for 1 Kazushiko.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got 5 free damage every turn, but like that gets shut down by encroachment, but it's still really annoying to have to deal with it for 3 turns. Fang, heavily favored.
Everything about our deck messes the deck up. It's just brutal. We block for 4 with our attacks all often. We have Clash of Bravado. He doesn't block so well after his armor's gone, so if we're like disrupting him, it's man, I don't see how he has any chance.
Florian, I think this is dead even.
Yep, dead even. Yeah, I thought we were unfavored, but the more we played it, and I don't know, Mother of Necessity is like the like kind of what makes you come up with innovation. We sat down in the calling and said, or we showed up on Friday and said, wow, that's a lot of Florians in the room. And we figured it out.
Gravy Bones, unfavored.
Unfavored.
We are so bad into this deck, but somehow we win it a lot, which I don't understand. To Ripple Away is just, oh my gosh.
I don't understand. Yeah, no clue.
I don't understand.
I beat both the gravies that I played in the calling, and it wasn't particularly close on either one of them. And the one that you lost that I beat, you screwed up. You shouldn't have swung the hammer.
Oh, dude, I should have swung the hammer. Ira. I've never lost to Ira.
I still don't think this is heavily favored. I think this is slightly favored.
You could put it as slightly favored. I'm just like, I've never lost it, but I can see how it's hard.
I think a good pilot, their value is really high. That hero power adds up. The more turns you play, the more they get. And when they get like 22 points out of their hero power, that's extreme.
No, but I also think that like there are like turn cycles that you could have one time in a game and they will lose on the spot. If you ever Iron Grip the dual threat turn, the game's over.
Or if you ever Millers and hit a dual threat, the game's over. If you ever Millers and hit a filler screen, you're like, oh.
Jarl, we're heavily favored in this deck.
Heavily favored.
The people have cast like 10 Oakenolds into me, and I've only given like 20. Like, come on.
Is it also because like we see these Jarls, maybe like higher tier Jarls, maybe they're better, but some of Jarls like try to go, oh, I'm going to destroy your tunic because you're playing.
Dude, blowing up the tunic is -6 cards out of your deck. I just want you to. I just need you to think about that. Like, imagine you go Crumble, and my response is Pulverize. like
it's such negative EV to like try to get rid of the tunic, and we don't care.
We pitch 2 cards to the sledge every time. Like
I want to pitch a blue and a red. You can take my tunic. I wasn't using it anyway. I'm trying to do blue-red pitch stacks. Like, get out of here.
The only thing taking tunic does is make us take 3 more damage to cast Righteous Cleansing.
All right, Kano. We would have been unfavored.
We would have never beaten this hero. This is a 0%er. Good thing he's gone.
Yeah. Good thing he's gone.
Was there ever an overlap where this deck was?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
The main thing that gave, in my opinion, the main thing that gave this deck permission to really exist is Syndra getting nerfed. Like, she's difficult to beat, but with her legendary, I don't know how you can beat her. It was just too easy for her. I
was consistently fatiguing her, but you have to play like Stonewall Gauntlet.
Yes.
Stuff.
So she eats away at your deck. Okay, but yeah, Kano would have been like absolute 0%er. Like, you just scoop. You like worse than gravy. Like, I think you could make a new tier for Kano. but he's LL, so whatever.
Kasai, heavily favored.
Heavily favored. Dude,
I made this.
I played
I
games
made
against her
made this.
where the
match.
only gold she makes is off of riches.
Dude, this is like, yeah, you have attack reactions. You don't have enough. Like, that's just how it is. Katsu, heavily favored. I've never lost a
dude.
matchup. Like, Iron Grip is broken.
Iron Grip
Like-
just turns this hero off. Like,
it's
pretty
just
bad.
like
You only have 3 of
toughness
those. though.
token. Dude, they go Surging Strike for 4, go again with the yellow, and I'm just like block 4 with a tough smash up, and they're just like.
and then they like Ancestral Empowerment. And you go TBC, and they go, oh.
Like, you have so many ways to conveniently cover whatever trick they're trying to pull. It's just so like.
And like you kind of give them permission to do their boots break Mask of the Pouncing Link. You just go, I'm tired of blocking it. Just go ahead and get it out of here. KO, slightly unfavored.
Armed in danger. I don't know.
Or even.
I think this is even. I have good times playing the KO.
Yeah, I don't have that bad of a time. I could see an argument for calling it slightly unfavored. I think the decks versions of KO that are good into us probably struggle into others because they don't have some of their tech pieces that they use for like verdants and stuff. So like No Fear, they don't have room for them. They need to like.
We are also assuming for each hero that they are playing the optimal cards against us, like the optimal like stack of cards. Like 60 card KO is heavily favored. Like we will never lose to that matchup.
Yep, they have to. I think like the more cards specifically for KO, a 72 card pile that's dedicated to beat you goes into slightly unfavored. But a KO that is tuned for the meta is probably even.
Okay, good distinction there.
Labaya.
I actually think this is even too. I think a properly played Leviathan can
you just gut check them for the first 3 turns of the game and see if they can manage their graveyard. And if they can't manage their graveyard, they just die. And if they do, you get to play this cool little game. They never get Carrying Husk value, I tell you that. Hammer for 4.
Yeah, they never get Carrying Husk value. But a talented Leviathan can set up a pitch stack and a banish stack to kill you with a flip. To her demi hero and grind you down. That is the thing Leviathan can do. I would say someone who's very talented could probably put you at an even split with Leviathan.
Marlon.
Favored.
Taylor couldn't drop heavily favored. Dude, Taylor couldn't drop me below 25.
Overpower is a terrible keyword, man.
Against this deck, it is literally a suggestion. I can lay my hand down almost every turn.
Yeah, we have instants and block cards.
Yeah, it turns out having block cards and instances, I was like, I think I was observing your match yesterday, and you just like laid down 3 cards. I'm like, it has overpower. He's like, and you're like, look at the type cards. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, yeah. There's other. You don't have just attack action
Max,
cards.
the Hype Nitro, slightly favored.
Yep. Funny enough,
hit the gas plus
Mechanoid
the
is
mech.
a thing.
Yeah.
Like, you can lift with the mech pretty easily, but if they like are like a really good max player and they like pitch stack hit the gas, things can get problematic.
Thank God for Kabuto.
Olympia, unlosable.
The warrior problem, right? Like, even though we only run 60 reacts plus 2 Oasis respites, our ability to just block 4 or 5 without committing an extra card just says, technically we're losing value here if you don't do anything, but we don't care.
This tier list is for literally our list, the current list. This isn't just like if you wanted to beat if you wanted to target any specific hero with this deck, you can make the matchup like a 90-10. Even Gravy, you could make it like pretty favored.
Yeah, I think you can move Gravy up to slightly favored. I don't think you ever move him up to favored. He's an incredible board state hero, with some really broken interactions. But there's some packages that you move it to where you probably win way more games than you lose. You hurt your deck a lot though.
Oh, Skillio.
Even
I think you're I think you're slightly favored if you play like literally out of your mind perfectly, but I will put it at even.
this is my favorite matchup. After playing a lot of rounds, I love this matchup. Every Pleiades plays Ocilio differently. It's just so much fun. I've had matchups where I throw attacks into him constantly. I have matchups where I block and AB constantly, and I've had matchups where I do everything in between. It's so much fun.
Prism heavily favored.
Heavily favored. Everything you do counters them.
They always give us a run for our money, but they've never taken a game. like the best Prism players in the world have never taken a game.
Yep.
But they always give you a run for your money.
They'll bring you to like 9, but like you deterministically beat them.
This is actually very rare for a board state based deck, kind of like Prism, to lose against a defensive guardian. So interesting. All right, we got Polykranka.
Heavily
Muffin, I have no idea how she ever wins this matchup. Like
Dude, I
3 or 4 times a game, she tries to play like
Cogworks Workshop, and you just ripple it in there.
Or the one that gives +3 and makes a cog.
Like literally anything. Like your deck blocks too well, it does too much good stuff. Ripple away can just literally end their turn. I mean, like literally end their turn. They don't make the cog to crank.
They play Palantir. You go, okay, have my hat. Like
I drew Midas on my opening hand. Shoot the bird. like while it's still in your equipment zone. Like this matchup's so cursed.
Poor bird. All right,
Rhinar.
Even
this one
slightly
is
unfavored.
Yeah, this one is like if you're Eugene, it's slightly unfavored. If you're not Eugene, it's probably even.
I mean, it just depends. Like, do they keep intimidating your Testifier grip out of your hand over?
Yeah, it gets so
and
annoying.
over
It's
again?
always the test of Iron Grip. Why is it always test of Iron?
You draw, dude. Every other hero, you draw up on a pestle and test of Iron Grip, and you think, this is a great turn cycle. Except against Rhinar, you're like, all right, it's a coin flip.
It's really funny because when you block with the test of Iron Grip, if they do have more turn, you intimidate yourself by blocking with the Iron Grip.
That's true too. Yeah,
I never even considered that.
You have to play around the fact that you're probably intimidating yourself when you test of Iron Grip.
It's really funny. It's a matchup. You know, it's one of the matchups where you like might cast Pulverize because they intimidated your hand. And you just go 14.
Yeah. You like get 3 blues of Pulverize and a Tunic counter, and you're like, okay,
that's what
time.
we're doing.
Riptide.
Doesn't have a weapon. Favored. Yeah.
Dude, can't do anything. Bad Azalea. The dominate's not good. Oh my gosh. Bolton. I want to say this is actually even. I think the best Bolton player in the world would probably like give you a run for your money.
Okay, No Hero Stands Alone definitely really hurts it, but we're rating based on
We're not
the column
playing it right
list.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think combo Bolton would be ridiculously hard to beat.
It
Combo
would
Bolton.
depend on a lot of things. Like you have to keep in mind that they would still have to contend with like righteous cleansings.
Yep,
and, like,
and
a
also
constant
you could
combo.
IP a Test of Iron Grip over and over again.
Well, also you can like float a palm because it's very obvious when they're about to combo you, right? You just like float a palm, break the palm, and then like you have a bunch of cards to block, and all of them could be like non-attacks or whatever. You also have a bunch of life gain. So
Right. The boss
But if-
unfavored.
tech
You need Warhorn to beat this person. We don't respect this guy because he just basically doesn't exist.
To be
But,
fair, we should just
Cognos.
make a new category called draw.
Yeah, this probably does go to a draw. Okay, so what he does is he puts out Cognos, and Cognos says put a counter on it, and then remove a counter on it. If you hit with an attack, put it back in your deck, and he starts throwing 9 overpower over and over again. It's not.
Now
even
you can
his
cut. I mean, you can beat it. I mean, it's not that bad.
You can.
You can cover 9 overpower. It's just like really annoying.
And you don't really get to mill him because he gets to cover the hammers really efficiently with his armor setup, and we're not running armor hate at all. And yeah, if you put it in Warhorn, things get simpler. But I would say with our current list, it's a really uphill battle. Czechoslovakia.
Uzuri.
Heavily favored. You just put 2 cards in front of everything and just move on. Like
they could give it dominate when you're blocking 4 on their little flip card, and you could take 2.
go. Okay, whatever. Cool. Like, do
Ball.
you want to take a card in my hand? Oh, it's just fatigue slop, right? Like, just take one.
Fatigue slop. Valda. I've never lost to a Valda, but the games always end up being relatively like close in numbers. So I think it's slightly favored.
I think our Clash of Bravado brought that to slightly favored or close to even. The biggest problem is that Leyline is a really messed up card. And we can blow it up. And we're also running Pulverize to hate on the mirror match. So that makes sure that Leyline dies.
Verdant.
Even.
At the highest level, it is dead even.
This is another matchup that is super fun. I love this.
This matchup is like the biggest game of third cycle like chess. Like
so cool.
It's so crazy. Will, what are you doing in here?
There's a Mr. Bradshaw.
Hello, Will.
Hey, gamers.
We are streaming.
Sorry, gamers.
All right.
That's the most Will thing I've ever.
Victor's even. This again. This is another matchup I really enjoy. It is very skill intensive.
Like, if they bring less than 2 remembrances, there's no game. They won't beat you. But if they bring 2,
they all do. They all do.
If they bring 2 remembrance, we get to have a game, and the game is very intense.
All right, Vincent.
Yeah,
I think the current list. No, I think the current list of Vincent's is favored. I think the way we think about Vincent, it's slightly favored.
Sure.
Yeah, no, this is favored.
Yeah, if it's just a classic Vincent deck that is nowadays, it's favored. But if it's like the Vincent
what we were
decks
playing
that
a year ago, where we do the stack thing and stuff, slightly favored. But that's not how Vincent's are playing right now. They can't play it into the aggro matchups. We're heavily favored into this matchup.
Dude, Ripple Away is too broken. That card's crazy. It's like a full stop. It's a full stop on the deck. Goliath, heavily favored. Unless,
I think a good pilot maybe pushes it to slightly favored, but no, I put it in a favored. Like,
yeah, it's favored. I have never lost it, and the only time you have lost it is when they
juiced me so hard and I misplayed.
28 confidence, and you didn't read your card. 28 confidence, and you didn't read Oasis.
That was a casual game. We can move on. All right.
How did you get 28 confidence?
28 just stack a whole bunch of. I think he had like 12 mic tokens and 3 auras.
Okay, that makes sense.
He drew like the nut. I hear. All right, the Pleiades mirror.
The fatigue mirror, obviously even. It's a pure skill matchup. If it's some kind of moment maker Pleiades, every time I've played against this, like if you just know to just only block 3 on their big like 28 damage cries of Encore turn, and then just say you're not going to hit me for the rest of the game, you win. So I just put it E.
RKO. He cannot beat Sledge of Anaheim.
Okay, I'd almost create a new tier of favored for him. This is one of the reasons I stopped playing RKO, because I just did not want to run into Damien with this deck.
This deck cannot beat Sledge of Anvilheim.
I have no clue how you beat this deck. You have to run Villainous Pose and Booze. I don't know. It's miserable. Like you're never gonna be higher on life total. They're willing to just block you the whole time. They have way more cards in deck than you, because RKO has this problem with only 7. Well, RKO has this problem. He only has a 77 card deck list, right? Because outside interference, 3 cards out of the deck list basically. So you're just starting behind on the size of your deck. Miserable. Tough Nut.
I've never. Yeah, it's just like you run a cards in deck, you have no weapon.
It is really funny when people go, "How do you fatigue Tough Nut?" And I go, "Do you realize they have to lose 3 cards out of their deck to swing their weapon?" And I go, "Sledge for 6."
It's so funny when you sled for 6 and they give you 2 cards because that's the only way to swing rock. It sort of blocked like 9 on 6, and you're just like, you got it, bro.
Tough Nut needs some love from LSS. This hero's terrible.
Tough Nut needs another intellect.
They can give him a Ring of Roses, but it's for smarts instead of life and arcane damage.
Hey, you know what Tough Nut actually needed? Rock to not say once per turn. And then Tough Nut's charm would be pretty good.
Sure.
What do you mean? You put a back alley break line into your
Okay, back alley break line is okay. I take it back. That sounds awesome. Oh, man. Okay, looking at this tier list, this is honestly how I felt walking the call, like down specifically.
This is how I felt playing the calling.
Yep. Gravy was literally the only hero I didn't want to see. Everyone else, I felt like I had fair game or I was favored.
Eugene was trying to match me.
Also, Teklevasen, the way you beat him is just don't lose round 1.
Dude, Eugene was trying to match us. He was like, "Give me the Pleiades." And I was like, "Get away from me."
You're like, stay away, dude. No intimidate, please. I want to block with my cards.
All right.
Yeah.
This looks like a pretty decent
that's
spread.
I mean,
I feel like we're showing favoritism here, but this is how I really felt. Like
this is like how, like, to be fair, this is data from my point of view from like 700 games on this deck. Like, you just like don't lose a lot of matchups. I mean, fatigue is like, with the current way that all of these decks are built, they don't have a current way to get over the wall. I'm not saying they can't adjust, but they'll have to if they want to beat the deck.
700 games with this deck is a fuck ton of games, dude. How did you play 700 games with this deck in like a month and a half?
On Talishar.
I think we started on this deck in December.
Okay. So a month and a half. That is a lot of games. Jesus.
It was like December, the start of December.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have well over 100, and then Randy has a ton, and then Akami, Brick, and Howl have their handfuls of games too. And so when we're all talking about like the way this deck approaches matchups, and Pseudo, Pseudo played a lot of games too. And I'm not hating on any of them, but also like watching them make mistakes in some of the matchups. Like watching people misplay too gives you a lot of insight about the deck as well. You're like, okay, I was just doing this naturally, but I see when someone thinks of it a different way and they make those mistakes, it gives you even more insight. So there's just like a lot of benefit to watching other people play games as well. So between Damien, I think Damien knew he'd found something like immediately. Like when you just block for tough smash up, then block test of Iron Grip and go, whoa. I just blocked 7, gave myself a toughness token on the next turn, and shut their turn down. It's a pretty big deal. And then I said, okay, I'm gonna start writing a guide. And as I'm writing the guide, I'm like, man, this has a lot of favorable matchups.
Yeah. Dude, this deck's sick.
We found things out while I was writing the guide too. As I was just kind of logicking things out. We figured out a lot of things like having only one blue dig in and looping it in endgame states is just insane. Like you just need one of them in the deck and you just start looping it, and just every time you block with blue dig in, you pitch blue into it, and you're essentially blocking 6 with one card over and over and over again.
Somebody asked why Fang is favored. He's not actually evasive enough to get around blocks because you coincidentally overblocked the first dagger. With toughness, also Clash of Bravado just ruined your life. It blows up your fealty every time we block with it, and we can pedestal it back to the top of the deck twice per pedestal. So we can like blow up 7 fealty on a whim.
With 1 Clash of Bravado in the deck, you have to deal with it at least 7 times.
Doesn't that just sound fun, Fang-gang? All right.
I mean,
obviously Pen is going to change a lot of things.
yes.
I guess we're kind of. I mean, there's still 2 more weeks of RTNs. Is this a deck that you would recommend people to play at RTNs?
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. Mhm.
Especially if your meta has never seen this deck, this is a guaranteed walk top 4 or top 2, as long as you're willing to tell your opponent to hurry up.
So if you want to like beat Gravy Bones, you could play Batter to a Pulp, Turning Point, and Tension in the Air
Blue Grave Keeping.
with Helm of the Adorned.
Yep. So you could throw Batter a Pulp with confidence. You could play Blue Grave Keeping to with your primary target being if you can kill the dog before they play the dog, then you take a gold out of their deck and you take a Prismatic Leyline out of their deck.
It also, like, whenever you play Tension in the Air, they have to play this little game where they have to figure out if you're going to block with your Helm of the Adorned and Batter for 14 confidence, because you can't base of the mountain confidence. It doesn't work.
Yeah, if you swing Batter to a Pulp with confidence, their only way to not lose their amulet is to double Blood in the Waters with full activation. So they have to block 6 twice, discarding 2 cards or flashing cards off the top of their deck.
And then you play the second Batter.
Yeah, you could heavily tech against Gravy. You will beat them. The main matchups you hurt by doing that
are all of them.
Yeah, the deck is very tightly balanced.
I don't think there's a single card in the deck that targets a single specific hero. Even Amulet of Echoes has collateral damage.
Yeah, we have to run Miller's Grindstone into KO, which is terrible, but it's what it is. What it is.
Yeah, I've had Fang online since turn 2 through the whole game, and I won at like 20 after you run out of deck. Yeah, there's just like no way they leak damage.
I am usually flooded with fealty. There's no way that you're counting for losing 5 to 7 fealty across the game. Like, there's just no way. Like, especially against a deck that's willing to lay down their entire hand every turn. Like, we're not trying to tempo you. I've talked to people a lot about this deck. When you play this deck, you need to be kind to your opponent because you are automatically exuding a certain amount of conceit to play this deck.
Conceit.
You're telling your opponent when you sit down. You're telling your opponent when you sit down across from them, I'm going to let you do your entire game plan in its most optimal way, with the exception of a Test of Iron Grip or 2. And it sucks.
Do we think the deck will catch bans? No. Not right now. Yeah, the meta hasn't even begun to adjust to it. If a new deck pops out of nowhere, we're just going to ban it because it top 8'd an event.
So the only thing I could really see this deck getting hit by is like a restriction
color of
up on the pedestal.
No,
it would be the card that breaks how the game is played. And up on the pedestal, recurring 6 cards per game is essentially broken. But like, it's in the Armory deck.
It's also like it's also like the identity of the hero. You kill like all
she's right there on the card. Like,
you kill like all Moment Maker Cries of Encore decks if you like hit this card. You know what I mean?
What about banning this card?
None of the other cards. Okay, Miller's Grindstone, I could see that. I doubt it. I think the more like
sometimes this card just swings 4 vanilla damage and turns into 3, and you're just like, oh.
The more political effective way for them to get rid of Miller's is just to juice Victor a little bit and send him on his way, and then all the Pleiades fatigue players are a bit sad.
All right,
I think you beat a lot of decks still with just Titan's Fist.
Right. I want to ask a fun question. Penn is going to give Pleiades some juice. There's definitely going to be revered Guardian cards. What would you like to be printed in Penn for this deck?
Clash, blow up an item.
Flash, blow up an item.
Oh boy.
Easy. Dude, there's no other question. I'm just so tired of potions. Like just these uninteractive items that people put on into play and just Clash, blow up an item. There, done. That's what I want. Realistically, the cards we get that help this deck are going to be generic revered cards. And something that's printed for Victor that's not a Victor.
It's going to be something printed for Tough Nut that is not for Tough Nut.
The cards that they print for Pleiades are going to be more focused on the Moment Maker Crisis Encore build, which I totally support. The best way to make this deck better, even more than printing new cards, is for your opponent to sit down across from you and not know which version of Pleiades that you're on. My God, can you imagine sitting across from Pleiades and not knowing how to sideboard?
Are they gonna flip Moment Maker and then just kill me, or are they gonna flip Millers and then just grind me to dust?
Yeah.
Like that would be so toxic.
I would say I want the Moment Maker build to be better. That's what I want in most compendium.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, all right, guys. I guess this kind of wraps up things. You guys did write a guide on Metafy, so how do people find that?
It's in the description.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, there you go. I know you both.
Metafy.gg at With the System. It's under my account, and it is there, and it will constantly be updated till at least April, halfway through the compendiums.
Cool. All right. So if you guys want to learn more about that, you can go there, or you can watch this video. This video had lots and lots of nuggets of information. I definitely learned a lot, even though I've got to see this deck kind of firsthand. But there's a lot of intricacies with this deck, and it also seems like one of those decks that has a very, very high skill ceiling. So I think a lot of people will enjoy playing this. All right. Anything you guys want to say while we kind of wrap things up?
Oh, I really appreciate my testing group from my internal group of friends. They helped me a lot with the Acilio and Gravy matchup, just testing it with them. And I appreciate Damien. This has just been a really fun project with him, and I could never imagine the level of feedback and notoriety that this would have gotten. It's just a lot of fun.
Dude, I love the walking around getting booed while I'm a revered hero on day one. I was like, oh.
That's pretty funny. All right. Okay, guys. I believe Nathan will be streaming tomorrow. Ed and Will may be streaming the other days. We will be back next week with maybe a 0 to 60 episode. Maybe it will be on Pleiades. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I do have to. Zach will be streaming on Thursday, and I will be on his stream teaching him about Pleiades.
Let's go.
All right. So if you are interested in this deck, there is a lot of information for you to consume. So yeah.
I think I'm doing a podcast on Friday, where we'll also talk about Pleiades with a bunch of the local Georgia people.
Okay, that sounds great. I will be making some videos for the impact of, because they just released a bunch of holo cards. So that will be coming soon. Once compendium spoilers are out, going to be in the full swing of things, pumping out content and all that.
In the swing, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, you see what I did there. Good job. All right. This has been Josh Lau with TheCardGuyz with Damien Riggin and Thomas Averett Johnson. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Johnson Averett.
Johnson
Averett.
There we go. All right. Go play some Pleiades Superstar. Have some fun. Enjoy. All right. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.